I got started in the unconventional way, like where I'm at. I'm from Lawton area. There was no comedy scene.
Yeah.
There was nothing.
Shout out Lawton.
So yeah. Yeah. Fentanyl overdoses, capital. Yeah.
Well, tell me how you really feel.
yeah. We
It's 2025. I got a soundboard, boys and girls.
hell yeah.
I'm unloading the meat. I'm loading 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 the meat. I don't even know what it means, what it is, what it is, what it is, what it is, what it is. I'm unloading the meat. I'm loading the meat. I'm loading the meat.
Welcome to Unloading Meat. I am Jared Ralphie Allen, and do you like the new do? On Grindr, it's known as Hawk Tua. Yeah. My guest today is a hilarious comic who's got an amazing show coming up. Give it up for the one, the only, Matt Ferrell.
Yeah.
What's up, Matt?
Man, just living the dream.
Yeah, man, you're going to be at Looney Bin coming up in Tulsa soon, right?
Yeah, the 23rd of February.
Right there, man.
Yeah.
I didn't have to look at the calendar. I just knew.
Hell yeah.
Professional. Subscribe now.
That came around kind of in an interesting way too. I guess whoever runs their Facebook page had made a post and said, "Who do y'all want to see in 2025?"
Yeah.
And I guess I got tagged in it enough that Mason started reaching out to people, going, "Hey, who's got this guy's number?"
Yeah.
And he reached out to the right person. They got my number. I get a phone call. He's like, "Is this Matt?" And I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "This is Mason." I was like, "How you doing?" I didn't know who it was.
Yeah.
And he goes, "I own the Looney Bin in Tulsa." And I was like, "Oh, awesome. How you doing, man?" He goes, "Good." He goes, "You've been blowing my phone up, you know?" And I was like, "Huh?" And he goes, "We made a post." And so then he tells me all about it. And I'm like, "Awesome." I said, "Yeah." I said, "I saw it. I was liking everybody, and I was, thanking them for tagging me in it or what have you." He goes, "Well, it happened enough that we can't ignore it anymore. Would you be interested in coming and doing a show?" I was like, "Fuck yeah, let's do it." So we settled on February 23rd, which is an off night. I think it's a Sunday night.
Hey, you can pack it.
But I'm down for that, and
you got
and we'll see how it goes.
You got some friends from even Unloading Meat. You got Kyle Fleming coming on that show?
Yeah, Kyle Fleming's going to host it. Spencer Mills is going to feature.
Shout out Spencer. I still want your ass on this fucking couch or this chair.
Yeah. Yeah.
Spencer is like my fucking, I don't know, I want to say white unicorn, but like every season I'm like, we try to get him on, and he's like, I'll get it, I'll go going, and then something happens.
Yeah.
It's like we've always had to reschedule.
So I've been staying. I've stayed the last 2 nights at Spencer's house, and I got one more night there. I came up. Spencer and I did a show with Teddy White T.
Yeah.
He filmed his special in Fayetteville on
Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday night. It was a great time. Theater Squared. I don't know if you ever been there.
Mm-mm.
Theater Squared in Fayetteville. It is an amazing venue.
I saw the pics and I saw you guys up in the rafters.
Yeah,
up there.
I want to say it probably seats 250. It feels like you're in a huge theater, but it's everything. It's just put together perfectly. It's just an amazing place.
Yeah.
It's 250 people, but they're all right there. It still feels very intimate. Which, comedy is best when I can look everybody in the audience in the eye.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So it was great. I was very happy that he had invited me to come up and feature for him on that. Of course, he's a wild man.
Mm-hmm.
There's fire and confetti cannons, and I mean, it was all
He
kinds
goes big.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's a large fellow, so he's got to.
I know. I'm worried about that, Jared. He'll be back here next week.
Yeah. Didn't you used to have a couch in here?
Yeah. Had a couch.
Might want to pull it back in.
I know.
I'm just saying.
It's more footage. I had to burn the couch last week. I didn't have to. Nyla, our rescue dog.
Yeah.
It was snowing. It was muddy, and she decided to run in here and just jump straight on that white couch.
Yeah.
Like it was just the white couch was brown.
Yeah.
And I was just like, it's just going on the fire pit.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not touching it. I'm not trying to scrub this fucker. It's done.
looks like our last guest shit themselves.
I know. It's like, thanks, Teddy. No. No, he'll be here next week.
Nope.
Saturday was the first time I'd ever even met him.
Yeah.
We had talked on the phone quite a bit, but he just reached out one time. He said, "Hey man," he goes, "Do you think if we did a show together at this place, we'd be able to sell it?" And I was like, "I think we can sell anything.
Yeah.
If we work hard enough." And he's like, "All right, would you be interested in doing it?" And then the idea of it grew from there, and he really, took off. And
dude, he's an inspiration, man. He knows how to hustle. He knows how to book. He knows how to get people going.
I used to, when I would be
Shout out Teddy.
Yeah, awesome job. When I was trying to book venues, that was part of my sales pitch. Is hey, you're not going to find a comedian that hustles about promoting a show more than me and my team.
Yeah.
And then I met Teddy. And now I have to say, hey, there's only one other comic you can meet that's going to hustle me more than me and my team.
Yeah.
And that's Teddy White Tea. But I'm a strong number 2, right? Because that dude just nonstop.
Yeah.
Nonstop.
I'll also say, genuinely just like a sweetheart of a guy.
Yeah.
I've said it on this podcast before. There was a day where I had a lot of shit personally going on.
Yeah.
And like there was like something going on Facebook between me and another comedian.
Yeah.
And then I had to record a podcast here. And like, I don't know if you've ever had to like do a podcast when you're not in the right mental state.
Yeah.
But like you try to just power through it, right?
Yeah.
Teddy calls me in the middle of that podcast, goes, "Hey, I saw what's going on. You doing okay?" And just like came in, just called genuinely to check on me.
Yeah.
Like he'd only met me once.
Yeah.
But he saw what was going down and he wanted to take out another day to make sure that I was all right. And he's like, "Fuck the podcast. We'll just do it live." And we talked on air.
Yeah.
I put his phone on the speaker and he was just talking to me for a little bit, making sure I was okay.
Yeah.
That's just the kind of guy he is.
He's a really, really good dude. I met both of his kids were there at the show, which is awesome because he seems way too young to have kids as old as he has. So that dude was fucking in junior high, I'm pretty sure. I don't know where he was making it happen. Which I can't talk too much shit. My daughter was at my high school graduation. So
as you can see, my season 1 poster, I had to change my look a little bit so we don't get. I'm not like his son.
Yeah.
He was on here like 2 seasons ago, and I was like, "We're gonna get some wrong looks."
Yeah.
We're gonna look like those 2 fat guys on the motorcycles on the Guinness Book of World Records.
Y'all would look like the twins from the Addams Family. They just show up to everything, 2 little bald-headed twins, both wear striped shirts. So y'all should fucking go to Halloween together, dressed like that.
Dude, Teddy, we should.
Yeah.
Teddy, let's do it right here, man. I'll put it right here on the podcast. I'm challenging you. Let's do a Halloween off.
Yeah.
Me and you will do a couple's costume. What fucking fucked up couple's costumes can me and Teddy White Tea do?
Oh.
Did you get distracted?
I did get distracted. I feel like this is an amazing room.
Well, thank you.
It feels like a room that you're never going to get pussy in. But
It's called divorce.
yeah, awesome. But I looked up there and I saw that box for Wolverine.
Yeah.
And I guess it's empty. You've taken the guy out of it.
Yeah, he's over here.
But at first I was like, oh, is that an action figure of the Invisible Man? Which I think
I will say that's one of the best likenesses.
that really is. Yeah.
It looks like fucking Hugh Jackman. Really good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's a fucking crazy one. Yeah, this is called divorce, or this is called this is the room where vaginas dry up.
Yeah, yeah. But every guy that comes in here gets a little bit
Oh, he
of a
comes.
chub from his childhood.
They come.
Yeah. They're like, oh wow, this is
the half chub
everything
room.
that my parents couldn't afford when I was a kid.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of what spawned this. Is like my first thing. Like I didn't really collect for a while. I collected when I was a little kid, and then we had a house fire when I was 18.
Oh shit.
And like all the stuff that was left in my house whenever I moved out was just gone.
Yeah.
All my Star Wars, all that stuff. So I didn't collect for years. And then my second wife saw like one of these Megazords at vintage stock. Was like, "Isn't that the one that your parents never got you?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah." She goes, "You should buy it. It's $50."
Hell yeah.
Oh fuck. And then it just started the whole obsession. And then COVID hit, and then I lost my job at T-Mobile, and that's how I pay for my bills. I flip figures.
Yeah.
I started figuring out that all these collectors and all these like exclusive, Target exclusives, Walmart exclusives, well, on the coast, they're sold out everywhere.
Yeah.
But here in like Oklahoma and Texas area, they're just overflowing the shelves. Nobody's going out because of COVID.
Right.
So I buy like 5 at a time, keep one, build my collection, and sell 4.
Yeah.
And that's what paid for my bills.
Hell yeah.
And I mean, my Mercari, I grew that store and eBay, and that's what paid for my bills for about a year.
Yeah.
With no employment and just
I
getting through
don't.
this.
I've never been much of a. I mean, I think I had some baseball cards and stuff when I was a kid, but I didn't get deep into it.
Yeah.
So I don't know much about the collection world.
Yeah.
But I do know I watched. I like watching those shows about people that swap and trade and do the collectible stuff. Like there's I think it's a Netflix one. Might be one of the other streaming. I don't know, but it's like the king of auctions or whatever.
Oh yeah, the King Collectibles or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, he's got a name, Golden.
Okay.
Golden, something Golden. He's like the guy, sports member, but everything, sports memorabilia and everything, video games. And I watched that. I binge watched his whole series one night because I don't sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just stay awake all night.
Insomnia.
Yeah, insomnia. That's
Sponsor
the word
us.
I was trying to think of. Yeah, I need Ambien to sponsor me.
Yeah.
But I watched it and I was like, it doesn't. I think it's awesome. But then I look and I'm like, why? That's how. I mean, like these people that are buying that stuff they just have money that they don't know what to do with it. Like, why did you spend $10,000 on that jersey?
Yeah.
Like,
It's an investment.
I wouldn't spend $10,000 to have dinner with that guy.
Yeah.
Much less $10,000 for a shirt that he once wore. I don't give a fuck.
I will say, you brought up baseball cards. There is a basketball card that, like, I'm not a basketball fan by any stretch of the imagination, but I do want this one card. It's famous. You probably know. I can't remember the player, but there's one card that's famous because if you look in the background of the shot, it has the fucking Menendez Brothers sitting courtside.
Yeah, I did see
They're
about
just
that.
chilling there at the basketball game.
Hell yeah.
I was like, I want that card.
Yeah.
It's on eBay.
Yeah. And as soon as they get out, I want them to autograph it. I don't even know what player was on the card.
I want to see it. What fucking card is that? I know I found it because, like, eBay even had to put up rules like, please stop advertising this as a Menendez Brothers card.
Yeah. But I always wanted the baseball card of it says Ventura is the only player to get 6 hits off of Nolan Ryan in 1 inning.
It's Mark Jackson.
Where he's got him in a headlock and he's punching him in the face.
You can see him in the bottom right.
Yeah.
They're both just sitting behind him.
Hell yeah.
That card is
Nobody even remembers that player.
no Mark Jackson of the Knicks.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know.
1990.
I didn't know the Knicks still had a team.
It's only $20. I kind of want that card to put on display.
Oh shit! Dude, it's only $20.
It's only $20 on eBay.
Wow. I really thought
Free shipping.
I really thought that just because of those guys.
Hey, if
It
we
would
buy
make it.
2, they're only $18.99 each. We can get 1 for each Menendez brother. God damn.
I wonder if their visitation's still open. We can just go to prison and get them to autograph it.
Maybe
Are they supposed to be letting him out? Didn't I hear like
that's the rumor. I mean, ever since that doc and everything came out.
Yeah.
Did you watch the show on Netflix?
I watched the reenactment one.
Yeah, the one with
I didn't watch the
one that kind of implied that they were gay lovers.
Yeah.
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 Where everywhere afterwards, like, that wasn't in the original.
Yeah. I didn't watch the actual documentary. I watched the movie.
Yeah, that's what I watched a little bit of the documentary. Then I was like, I'm gonna switch over to this one.
Yeah, the movie's way better.
Yeah.
Their dad was fucking them. They were fucking each other.
I know.
Like neither one of them liked tennis, but they were great at it.
Yeah.
That was way more entertaining.
Yeah, I will say that one scene where the one brother is like basically just like crying and talking to the lawyer. It's like that one shot. It's like 20 minutes where he's just one camera. He's just telling her everything the dad did.
I am the hurt man.
Give that guy all the awards.
Yeah.
Like that scene was like, I feel dirty after watching
Yeah.
that scene. Like it made me feel so gross.
Yeah.
And it's like they didn't move. There's no music. It is just that actor just recanting the most horrible thing that he could possibly say as a Menendez brother.
Yeah.
And it's like-
it's wild. They were like the Game of Thrones of Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
Like because the whole family was fucking everybody.
With less ass play.
Yeah.
Less ass play.
So the idea of one part like that, they captured that moment so perfectly, it affected you.
Yeah.
Like you look at it and you're like, oh my God, this is wild.
Yeah.
So my wife started watching a show not too long ago. Oh, we set this whole thing up. This past year, I lost both of my parents.
Oh.
About a month apart.
Oh, wow.
A month and 5 days apart.
Condolences, man.
Yeah, thank you. So, well, thank you. I appreciate it. I don't know what you say, but anyway.
We'll just do a Chick-fil-A and say, my pleasure.
Yeah, my pleasure. Every time they say that, I want to go, really?
Look, my dog heard you had people that passed away and she wanted to come
Yeah,
with
she's
you.
going to console me. But since then, I'm an emotional person. I've never been that way. I don't get affected by stuff, but now like we'll be sitting there watching something on TV and just something come here, baby. Something random will happen, and I'm just like, okay, I gotta get up and go to the other room. I'm fixing to start crying.
Yeah.
Like it's just wild how this has been.
Yeah.
So then my wife started watching this show, and the show's called Shrinking on Apple TV. And it is
Emotional support dog.
yeah. Shit, you might have to go home with me. And so the show, it's an amazing show, and I love watching shows and movies and stuff, and I take into consideration like, hey, the people who did the casting in this,
Yeah.
I never would have thought Jason Segel and Harrison Ford would ever be on the same screen.
Yeah.
They are the perfect match
Nice.
in this show. So, and the show is, Harrison Ford is a therapist. He owns a place. Jason Segel and another guy or another person or therapist under him.
Yeah.
1 hour later.
Jason Segel's wife. I'm not giving away anything. You learn all this in the first 5 minutes of the first episode.
Spoiler alert.
Jason Segel's wife had died in a car wreck. He has a mental breakdown and starts helping people in unconventional ways.
Okay.
2 hours later.
They have a daughter. So at one point in the show,
3 hours later.
I'll hurry and get to it so we can get back to some funny shit. The daughter is having a flashback, remembering. Yeah, bro. I'm gonna try not to cry right now. The daughter's having a flashback, remembering her mom.
Many unbearable hours later.
Just hold on to the dog. She's
You're here for me.
Stroke the furry wall.
You're here for me. And the daughter's remembering something with the mom, and then the mom starts laughing, but there's no sound.
So much later that the old narrator got tired of waiting and they had to hire a new one.
And like as soon as I saw it, I was like, I know exactly what they're implying. She's starting to forget things. And then Dad comes downstairs. She goes, I can't remember what Mom's laugh sounded like. And I fucking immediately got up and walked to the room and sat on the edge of my bed and cried to where my kids and my wife couldn't see me.
Yeah.
And I was like, but I think I'm just that guy now.
Yeah.
I'm just an emotional person now. And it was wild. But so huge credit to, that was the perfect put together scene.
Yeah.
Which plays into what you were talking about with the you were talking about two guys that were fucking each other and confessing to a therapist. I was talking about a little girl being broken.
That's what I have my awakening during, Requiem for a Dream, when it's ass to ass. And they started showing this movie during high schools.
Just so you know.
They would show this movie in high schools. It's like, this is what could happen if you get into heroin stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay.
Yeah.
I like my asshole. I'm a fan.
Like right before I left Spencer's house to come here, we were kind of reminiscing on stuff. I'm
Foreshadowing.
I'm an alcoholic. He's a prior drug user, so we're comparing like how we deal with that stuff now. Yeah. And I was like, dude, my dad, I never had big interest in drugs and stuff, but it's because my dad was a hippie.
Yeah.
And did everything. Like he was a heroin addict at one time. He'd done pounds and pounds of coke. He'd done it all.
Yeah.
This was my dad's drug talk.
Weird flex, but okay.
With me. Yeah. Yeah. This was his drug talk. He goes, son, there's drugs out there that'll make you feel really good. There's drugs out there that'll make your dick forget how to work. You got some decisions to make. Gets up, walks away. That's all of the drug talk I got. And so then I was like, and I've worked out a bit about it. I'm like, so I didn't take a Tylenol until I was 24 because he never told me which drugs were which. You know? That's legit. That was our drug talk. He's just like, yeah, some of them are a lot of fun.
Yeah.
They didn't hide anything from me. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
But what are you willing to sacrifice for it?
Like, I know my parents, like, experiment when they were in college and stuff like that, but they never really were like into drugs. But like my dad, like, as a social drinker, beer drinker, he's a good old boy. He grew up from Delaware and Nevada.
Yeah.
And so, they came from that thing where, like, it's Friday, it's payday, you go buy a 24-pack.
Yeah.
And that's just what you do.
Yeah.
And so they were, my dad and his family were big into more drinkers, but not really hard drinker, like whiskey or something like that, just beer. And so, like, I got into college and stuff, and, I got into heavily drinking pretty good, but then I got kind of scared out of it because I had one day where I fucked up really hard.
Yeah.
I was trying to impress a girl, as one is to do.
And so ruined everything.
Yeah. She was trying to, like, I was already friend zoned.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know it, but I was 20 and I was like, I want this girl. Like, I'm into this girl. So she has this party at her apartment. We go over there, and it's me and like 3 pro wrestler friends. We all work at Game Exchange during the day, but on the off times, I'm going to college and they're pro wrestlers.
Right. Okay.
Clearly, she was into them.
Yeah.
Not the fat guy that's working the counter at Game Exchange. So she has all these alcohol lined up because she's trying to impress the wrestlers.
Yeah.
I decide I'm just going to drink everything. So in the span of like 30 minutes, I had 7 double shots of Jack.
Yeah.
I had 2 beers, 2 glasses of wine, and whatever else she had lined up.
Yeah.
I blacked out.
Mm-hmm. As one does.
Yeah. From what they've told me beforehand or afterwards is at one point I said I had to piss, so they just dropped me in the bathroom, and they came and checked me, and I was like in the bathtub just playing with their rubber ducky. And then they took me out of there, and they laid me on the living room floor, and they laid me on this arm like this.
Yeah.
And about 30 minutes went by, and I'm still blacked out, and my arm starts twitching.
Yeah.
And they go, well, that's not good. Hey, Jared. And then I'm not responsive. Oh, shit. What we do? Did we kill Jared?
Yeah.
So then they take me to the ER. And I wake up, and this is my only memory I make. I wake up, and I'm looking at the lights, and Freebird is playing. And I'm like, this is a fucking Oklahoma hospital.
Yeah.
And the doctor leans in, and he's like, you could have died. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
He's like, you consumed so much alcohol. And, like, he's just, like, ranting at me, and I'm fucking drunk. I don't remember anything. I'm just like, whatever. And they give me this little pamphlet. It's about alcohol poisoning.
Yeah.
And I open it up later, and it says like minor side effects and major side effects.
Mhm.
Under minor, it says death. Pretty sure that'd be a major.
Yeah.
But
What's worse?
Yeah.
Like, where do you go from there?
so then I'm starting to come to and everything, and they set me up, and I'm getting better.
Mhm.
My arm's not working. My arm's just dead. It looks like the Harry Potter arm whenever they took all the bones out.
Yes, well, that can sometimes happen.
It just won't work.
Yeah.
And he goes, "You have drunkard's palsy." And I go, "What's that?" He goes, "It's you consumed so much alcohol, then you laid on that, and it basically cut off the circulation. And because you had so much alcohol in your system, it basically just cut off the circulation. It'll come back in a couple of days."
Yeah.
So I had no arm for 3 days.
Holy shit.
No feeling all the way down. So they let me leave, and the wrestlers are carrying me out. I have one arm around each of their necks, and they're kind of like weekend of burning me
Yeah.
outside the the ER. And we're going through registration, and I see this old lady, and she has a head wound.
Uh-huh.
She has gauze wrapped around, and she's handcuffed to the chair, and there's police around her. Like, they brought her in hard.
Yeah.
And she just has this gauze wrapped around her head, and I look over, and I go, "She looks like a Shriner." And they go, "Jared, shut the fuck up." And so I just start going, "Bop, bop, ba, da, 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 da," just through the ER.
Yeah.
And that's how I fucking impressed that girl. And then the next day, they're like, "You got to go to work at Game Exchange." And I was like, "But I don't have an arm." They go, "Yeah, it's going to be funny."
Yeah.
So, because he was my boss. So he made me work with one arm. And he fucked the girl.
Yeah. What a sweetheart.
Yeah. I kind of teed him up because, to her, they're like, "Oh, you're a hero. You saved Jared."
Yeah.
Of course I'm going, "Oh."
Yeah. I've never heard of drunkard's palsy.
Neither have I.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
You cut off
3
circulation,
days.
There's no blood in that arm. It was just alcohol. It was
Yeah.
just full of booze.
If somebody passes out, boys and girls, don't lay them down on their arm like this and just let it go for about 30 minutes.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've had a lot of blackout nights or days.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been kicked out of bars at 7:30 a.m.
Oh.
Bar opened at 7. I was just still drunk from the night before. And they're like, "Hey, you're already an asshole. You got to go."
I'm just here for the early bird special.
Yeah. Yeah. I heard you had shots over easy.
I thought they said the early bird drank the worm.
Yeah. I was just here for that. Yeah. But yeah, I've done it. I got large section of my life that I don't remember, and my kids have memories that they shouldn't have, and all those things. So
As David tells us, time travel.
Yeah, yeah. So that's why you go places and like everybody, of course, doing comedy and the show's over, everybody wants to party,
Yep.
and I'm like, "No, I'm just gonna go.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go." And a lot of times I'm like the stick in the mud.
Yeah.
Now, and I've also I've had visiting with people, whether it be on podcast or just in conversation, like, "Hey, tell us about your worst bomb." I'm like, "I don't remember it."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh, you're that good?" I'm like, "No, my bombs all happened because I was drunk. I used to get hammered on stage, and I have to wake up next day and ask my wife how the show went because I didn't know."
Yeah.
And the one that got me, this is what she told me that got me to really change it up. I woke up one day and I was like, "Well, how'd the show go last night?" She goes, "I'll be honest with you." She goes, "Everybody loved it. It was a great show. But if you'd recorded that one and watched it back, you'd be disappointed in yourself." I was like, "Point taken. I don't drink on stage no more." I'll still have a beer or two after a show or something like that. I can't take booze on stage with me when some of my opening jokes are about, "Hey, I had to slow down drinking." If you walk up there with a bucket and go, "Well, I slowed down drinking," they're like, "Well, it don't fucking look like it to me."
Yeah.
So I had to change it up a little bit, but
Yeah, because I have no ego about what I am. I'm a baby comic. I'm still learning. I'm still, I'm still growing. But just the amount of people I've run into and the scene that you see, everybody's battling imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
Everybody's trying to cope in some way, whether it be drugs, alcohol, stage time.
Yeah.
Some type of people, that's therapy for a lot of us.
Yeah.
Is being on stage. And so you're just kind of watching everybody with different mental health issues kind of come together and cope in a way that makes it funny for at least 5 to 10 minutes or even 30.
Yeah.
Hopefully 45 if they stay around.
100%. And Isaiah Blue.
Yeah.
I had a talk with Isaiah one time. Of course, he had just turned 21. He was boozing it up, having a good time. And I was like, "Hey, you're young. I'm not going to tell you not to drink.
Yeah.
Wait to start drinking until after your set.
Yeah.
then party it up and have a great time. You know, I'm all for that. I'm not trying to tell people not to drink just because I don't drink like that anymore.
Yeah.
But this is my plea with comics. Drink, get drunk, have fun, smoke all the weed you want. Stop doing coke. Stop doing, and this is the rule that I tell my kids: no pills, no powder.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what's in it.
Yeah.
You know, a really good friend of mine's son just died, fentanyl overdose, because he bought some coke off a guy at a club.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's just shit's scary, man, and you don't know what's out there. And I've had some coke days. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I wouldn't touch that shit now. There's no way.
And just to be safe, ban Fun Dips. Those Fun Dip candies. Yeah. You never know.
They're putting fentanyl in Fun Dip?
They could be.
Good point.
Yeah. It'll be a Facebook rumor now.
Yeah.
We're putting it out there on
Hell
YouTube.
yeah.
I was just making a joke. You got it serious. You took it too real.
Clip it and we're sharing it.
Yeah.
We're ruining Fun Dip's business. They're going out of business. That's like remember when they would say, hey, if somebody puts a Coke in your kid's trick-or-treat bag, don't let them drink it. It's got a syringe in it. I'm like, how the fuck would they get a syringe in there?
Yeah. Well, joke's on you. It's not actually the blue or the pink powder. It's that little white stick. That's the fentanyl.
Yeah. Yeah. Told you sucking on sticks was bad for you.
Next week on the show, comedian Miranda Chase. I did that joke at Cellar one time. Like Cellar Dweller in Tulsa, if you've ever been, has a notorious Coke mirror in the bathroom.
Yeah.
And so everybody, kind of does their
That was
thing
last
there.
night, wasn't it?
Yeah,
wasn't it last night?
Every
Yeah,
Sunday.
we were gonna go last night, and then it shit got late, and I was like, you know what? Fucking cold.
Yeah.
I think I'd rather just. I'm that age. I'd rather just go to bed.
Yeah. Same.
Sorry, Coke
No,
mirror
you're-
in the bathroom.
No, shout out JB and Lazy for Cellar Dweller. They run that every Sunday.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a Coke mirror in the bathroom, and everybody makes jokes about it.
Yeah.
Apparently, at one time it was trending on TikTok when it was still around.
Yeah.
By the time this episode comes out, it may not still be around.
Yeah, it's down for 12 hours and back up.
Yeah. That was political. Anyway.
100%.
The cash is a thank you, President Trump.
Yeah.
It's in big bold
Isn't that
letters.
fucking wild? I was like,
But we're not political. Anyway, moving on. Thank you, China. No, anyway, Coke mirror. OCD brain, you can hear.
I feel like TikTok, Donald Trump, and Coke mirror, it all flows.
Yeah, it all flows.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going good.
Yeah.
Well, I made a joke back there, and I was like, if you guys see, what did I say? I said something along the lines of like, watch out in the bathroom for all those Eric Clapton fans. Just kind of got that wrong. You know the joke, the song.
Yeah.
And I was like, what's that song? Like, she's all mine, she's all mine. I got the crowd to sing with me. And I go, fentanyl. I love setting them up for that. Then they think they're going to sing along with it, and I just hit them with something different.
Yeah.
I love that. I love crowd participation. I like
Yeah.
singing along with the crowd.
Yeah. I've got a new joke. Man, fuck, what was it? I've got a new joke that I was just fixing. Oh, I know what it was.
We're just going to throw out all our new material and just ruin it here on the
well,
podcast.
it's like, because I don't do a whole lot of crowd participation jokes, like on intentional.
Yeah.
Like if I'm doing something and it happens organically, like I'll go with it or whatever.
Yeah.
But this is a joke that, and it's basically talking about the sex medication. And like, ladies, raise your hand if you really, who wants 4 hours?
Yeah.
No, like nobody wants 4 hours.
No.
Like if I take some of that medication and I've got an erection for 4 hours, what do I do with the other 3.5 hours worth of dick? Because
Yeah.
I'm done. She's done. I promise you. Like 30 minutes is like nobody wants 4 hours worth of dick.
I think Blue Chew should just be like edibles, like weed edibles.
Yeah.
Where like it's like, oh, this is 1,000 milligrams. Well, let me take a sliver.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me cut that shit in half.
Yeah. So it says 4 hours. Okay, I'm gonna take a sliver. Okay, I just need 30 minutes.
Yeah. That's what inspired the joke. A buddy of mine, I stopped by his shop the other day, and he's like, hey, man, I got something for you. And he hands me 2 Blue Chew packets. He goes, hey, next time y'all are feeling like it, he goes, about 30 minutes before, just take you one of them. And I was like, whoa.
30 minutes, you're just walking around with a flagpole.
First of all, I've never taken a Viagra, I've never taken a Blue Chew, nothing.
I'm drug-free, I'm alcohol-free, and that means I'm better than you.
Because I've been fearful of it. I'm like, I don't need it. What if I take it and then my body's like, oh, we'll just rely on that from now. Now my dick don't work on its own no more.
Yep.
So I've always been scared of it. And he goes, so he gives it to me and he goes, you're going to last a long time. I'm like, I don't need to.
No.
Dude, babe, we've been married for 24 years. We got shit to do.
Yeah.
Right? We're going to fuck.
If that's the issue, is time of that?
Yeah. we're gonna fuck, and then
That sounds like projection. Like
we're gonna go and get the rest of our shit done for the day. You know what I mean? We're grandparents, dude. I don't need 4 hours of that. What am I supposed to do with the other 3.5 hours?
It's kind of like me with the purple mohawk. It's like I'm trying to distract from all this.
Yeah.
But like it's not doing the full job, and people are like, "What are you doing, bro? Go lose some weight."
Yeah.
I'm like, tomato. Subscribe now.
Oh shit. That's what I tell people all the time. Like Wayne and those guys, like they tell people all the time, they'll say, "Oh yeah, he's been doing comedy for like 12 years."
Yeah.
I'm like, no. I did comedy 12 years ago.
Yeah.
That was my first show, and then I spent about a year of just like putting together shows here and there at bars and stuff. And then my kids were at the age they were super busy and games and all this stuff, so I just quit.
Yeah.
I didn't do anything for a long time, and then like the last 2.5, 3 years, I really started hitting, COVID.
Yeah.
I waited until COVID happened, and I was like, hey, let me do comedy full time, and and then for the last 2 years, it's all I do.
Yeah.
I don't do anything else. I don't have a regular job. So
I mean,
I tell people all the time, like, yeah, I did comedy like 12 years ago, tried it, and then but the last 3 years is what I've really been doing.
That's one problem I'm going to do is like I kind of do it around this podcast because that's why I built this. Partially COVID and stuff like that. I have my collection, but then like a podcast really saved me during COVID. Like I say it all the time, like. Shows like Two Bears, One Cave and like YMH and stuff like that. I watched a lot of comics that were trapped. These are guys that you could tell they love to be on stage and they couldn't perform.
Yeah.
And I always say that podcasts are kind of like open mics. There's a million of them, but how many of them are good?
Yeah.
How many of them actually have intent and are actually people putting in an effort to them?
Right.
So like you would watch like YMH or Two Bears and they're functioning, doing actual comedy bits and doing entertaining things on a podcast.
Yeah.
And that inspired me. And then I started watching shows and I was like, wow, they're really just doing it with small cameras and a couple of lights. And I kind of just like started seeing the behind the camera.
Yeah.
And seeing how they're building stuff. And I got a notebook out and I started taking notes.
Yeah.
And that's what I did during COVID is like learning how to build this. Because when I got banned from Looney Bin 14, 15 years ago, now it's probably 16 almost.
Yeah.
2025. I was like devastated because I had nothing.
Yeah.
And so I decided if I was going to go back into comedy, I was going to build something. So if something ever happened, they can't take it away from me.
Right.
So I built this.
Yeah.
And I got the brand, got the logo, got my theme music, got
Yeah.
the trademark.
Speaking of, where did the unloading meat? Where does that come from?
And so it's just my name.
That's awesome.
And even Josh Wolf was like, it's a fucking funny name because it's like an earworm.
Yeah.
You hear it, you're like, what the fuck does that mean?
Yeah.
Because like I kind of want to even take that logo and just like put a banner up or a billboard up in Bartlesville.
Yeah.
And just be like, subscribe now, not tell people what it is.
Dude, you remember Red Dog? The beer?
Yeah.
It was the greatest marketing of all time. The beer was shit.
Okay.
This is Red Dog beer. It's not ice brewed, fire brewed, and it's not some nursing sipping red. It's just genuinely good beer. Okay, there is one thing unusual about Red Dog. It's unusually easy to drink. Because it's bold yet smooth. Because it's made with the finest natural ingredients. Are you gonna like Red Dog? Yeah, we think so. But hey, it's your call.
It was disgusting. But for 1 year before they ever put it on the shelf,
We talking like Shinerbach? We talking like Shinerbach levels or
of nasty?
Yeah.
Worse than that. I don't like Shinerbach either, but it was just trash.
Okay.
It was like beer they'd made 20 years ago, never got it sold, and they're like, oh yeah, we still got that shit in the back. But for a year straight, it was just billboards with a picture of a red bulldog's face on it. Didn't know words, didn't know it was a beer, nothing. And for a year, those billboards were everywhere you went. And then all of a sudden, a commercial came out, Red Dog beer. Well, for a year, it was just subconsciously in people's mind. And that shit, and I guarantee they couldn't have sold it for more than 4 years. Because by then, people were like, yeah, it's fucking horrible. We're never buying it again. But they sold a fuck ton of it in that amount of time.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's greatest marketing ever. But
that's
you know,
as my seasons went on, I kind of like simplified my logo. Like that's season 1.
Yeah.
And now it's just a ham hock. I went
Yeah.
to my own personal. I thought that would be like a sticker.
yeah.
And it's a lot more marketable.
Yeah.
Plus, I wouldn't get sued for Deadpool.
Yeah.
Which, by the
Yeah.
way, I want to bring this up. Did you watch Deadpool and Wolverine? The newest one? You saw the part with like Nice Pool, like the nice Deadpool?
Yeah.
And the man bun and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Look behind you. That little poster right there. That was made like 2-3 years ago.
Yeah.
Does that look familiar to you a little bit?
That's funny.
And now he's getting sued by the guy that's suing Blake Lively, his wife, because he's saying that Nice Pool is a joke about him. This guy that was an actor, I can't remember his name. There's another actor that is suing and having a fight with Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds' wife.
Yeah.
And he's saying they put Nice Pool in that movie just as a dig at him. And now he's suing Ryan Reynolds, suing Marvel, and suing everybody, saying Nice Pool was just a jab at him because he used to rock a man bun and he's from Canada. And he had a feud with Blake Lively. So if you watch Deadpool and Wolverine, she gets her Uzis out and she shoots Nice Pool.
Okay, so I think the guy is absolutely crazy for thinking that he's going to sue it. But then now thinking about that part, I'm like, I wonder if he's right.
Yeah. Like, there's all these little digs to it. And I'm like, and so like, he's suing them for like likeness rights and all this stuff, like saying like they made Nice Pool of him. And I'm like, if you guys want proof that, you know, you had the idea beforehand, you can just license my poster.
Yeah.
Just say that I had the idea first before him.
Yeah. That's funny. That's funny. I haven't heard anything about that yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Gosh, she's so hot.
Yeah, she is.
She's so hot. Fucking Ryan. I'm straight as a fucking arrow. Goddamn, Ryan Reynolds is so good looking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we were getting back to like, I talked about like, I've been on stage before and I've tried to do like crowd participation, have them sing along and do chants with me and stuff. I had one at Tulsa Comedy Club where like I walked up and I was like, okay, when I say something, I want you guys to say and chant with me, I don't fuck dogs. No reason. I just want the people at the bar and outside the door to be like, what the fuck is going on in there? So like I started doing these jokes and I would stop and pause and then you'd hear the crowd go, I don't fuck dogs. And I did it like Pavlov's dog like 4 times.
Yeah.
And then I just stopped doing it. And then you hear one guy go, I don't fuck. Oh shit. He got caught. Because I would always go with the mic and do like that.
Yeah.
And then I just didn't do it. And that one dude stood up.
That's good. That's good.
I just like having fun with people like that,
Yeah.
man.
Do you write a lot of material or do you just participate?
I do both.
Yeah.
Put it this way, like if I go to a mic, I'll bring like a bit I want to do, but most of the stuff I do on that mic is pretty much just I'm writing stuff there.
Yeah.
Observations, like if somebody had a good bid or something like that, I'm gonna make a tag on it.
Yeah.
If somebody has a yellow shirt or something like that, I'm gonna make a fucking roast joke about it. Like
Yeah.
I'm doing that most of my stuff right there and then.
Yeah.
And then I'll have like a bit I want to work on. But for set stuff, I'd say probably like 80% is prepared.
Yeah.
I know people always have that philosophy of like fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
You really can't do that a lot of times on stage and stuff like that. In my opinion, to feel prepared, in my opinion.
Right.
The art is making it feel like it's natural, but it's really not. You're prepared.
Right.
You're confident.
So this is my favorite answer to get from people.
Yeah.
Is if you say how much time can I do, and you go, hey, 15 is where I'm the most comfortable.
Yeah.
I can do 20, but 15 is solid.
Yeah.
So that way, like, you're letting them know.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I can do that if you want me to stretch it, but if you let me stay right here in this spot, there's no stretching.
Yeah.
I've got this locked
That's
in.
why I like that 5 minutes for the crowd work.
Yeah.
It's because if the crowd's not into it or anything like that, I can go to the closer or something like
Right.
that. But I put that kind of in between my, like, if I'm doing 15 or 20, my way I do it is I'm doing like 5, little bit of crowd work, 5, little bit of crowd work, 5, little bit of crowd work.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I do. And then, like, if it's going real good, I can keep the crowd work going, or I can shrink it down. But I'm putting in the middle as buffers. That's just how I write.
I've started. This is something I'm fixing to start doing. Is I've found a place in my regular set that's a good place to twist off and go to crowd work, because I just went and just do about 5 minutes worth of crowd work and then come back to my material. But I've never wanted to do a lot of crowd work. But I'm okay with this because if I twist off and start to do some crowd work and it's not going good, I can always retreat back to the shit that I already know is tried and true and works.
Yeah.
So, but hey, I'm not a big crowd work. I like interacting with the crowd if it just happens.
Yeah.
But to just go like Andrew down at his place, we've done a few just crowd work shows.
Yeah.
And I guess I can hold my own, but I'm just not where I'm the most comfortable.
I think, but everybody has their different tool bag.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm like, there's people like, oh, I'm not going to do a roast battle. I'm not good at roasting. Well, you should try.
Yeah.
At least try a little bit so you can kind of get that tool developed in your toolkit.
I haven't done a roast battle. I've had some friends call and go, hey, I'm in this roast battle. This is who I'm going up against. You got anything? So I've helped write some roast jokes that I guess have done pretty good. But, and here's I love the idea of like the old Dean Martin style roast and the Comedy Central style roast.
with the roast of the dais and
Yeah. But to me, from what I've seen, and I haven't gone to a bunch of them, so it's not like my opinion is rock solid, but a lot of the roast battles now they're not funny. You're just trying to say the most mean shit about the other person.
That's true.
And I'm like, I don't like that.
And so, like,
if I can come up with something creative and funny about you, that's good. But if I just go, you're fat and got a stupid fucking haircut.
Say something, I'm giving up on you.
Yeah.
That's not. I wasn't even.
It's still gonna be funny.
I wasn't even trying to be funny. It's just a mean thing to say.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Well, and that, and like, there's the other part too. Is like,
I love your haircut, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
You are fat.
PHAT?
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's 2025. You can't say that.
Yeah.
Not in Trump's America. Well, actually, now in Trump's America, you can. Subscribe now. Anyway, the problem I've had with roast battles in particular is, let's say there's 5 comics.
Yeah.
And you're going to do 5 jokes each. Well, you're writing 20 to 25 jokes.
Mm-hmm.
If you lose one round, you don't keep going. You just lost all those other jokes.
Yeah.
And so you just wasted all that material and stuff, and nobody's going to hear it, and it goes to the scrap room.
Yeah.
And it kind of sucks. So, like, when I do my roast battles, I do a roast battle competition, and I do a double elimination tournament.
Yeah.
I do, like, 8 people, and then the winner gets $200. And then that way, it also kind of, like, I'm a pro wrestling fan. I love drama. I love a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So I was like, what can I do to keep the crowd entertained?
Yeah.
Well, if it's double elimination, somebody loses, they're not out.
Mm-hmm.
They go to the loser's bracket, and then if the crowd really likes them, they can get behind them and get them back up and put them in the finale again.
Yeah.
And the crowd participation works like that.
Yeah.
It actually adds, like, stakes to it, and it's intrigue, and people actually watch it, and we're entertained by it.
Yeah.
And just that little tweak, and I got sponsors for it and stuff like that. It made it more of a competition and more fun, and then it was more about clever writing. It wasn't just like, hey, I'm just going to say the most horrible thing to punch you down.
Right.
Because the crowd's the tiebreaker.
Yeah.
They're going to tell you if they like it or not.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like, I try to, like, warp it a little bit different, but I see what you're saying.
I think, yeah. I think I would like that. And that's my deal. It's the same. So I have the same opinion with that I do with comics who overuse any word on stage, whether it be a black comic that's overusing the N word or any other comic that's just overusing the F word, which I'm not opposed to either one of those words. I really don't care. I don't care about the N word.
Yeah.
It's just a word as far as I'm concerned, but if you're using it 19 times in a setup for your joke, you're lazy.
Yeah.
You couldn't think of anything better to say. That's what that is.
Do you know Lil Dicky, the rapper?
Yeah.
He has a song called The Antagonist.
Mm-hmm.
And the entire song is about how he's a white rapper and he's not allowed to say the N-word.
Yeah.
And it's how black rappers use the N-word as the antagonist to their songs.
Yeah.
If you actually listen to it, they're writing it from that view.
Yeah.
And it's basically, he's saying it's like, it's just low-hanging fruit.
Yeah.
You guys just use it as the antagonist, and every song sounds the same. It's like, I have to work out of my way not to use it.
Yeah.
And, like, his whole rap is about that. And it's very clever. And, yeah, I kind of feel the same way. Like, I feel the same way about, this is going to sound bad, but if you're a female comic and you just heavily rely on vocal fry.
Yeah.
Hello. Oh, my God, my vagina.
I have a comic in mind when you did that. I will not say their name, but
I'm a big Howard Stern guy, so like he always hated vocal fry. He had like people like he would rant on vocal fry, so I know that term very well.
Yeah,
vocal fry, Valley girl talk.
Yeah, it drives me crazy. Yeah, I'm the same way. Like it's to me, if you, I don't care if you find something and it works. Like any word, whether it be the N word or the F word or whatever.
Larry the Cable Guy, get her done.
If you use that word as emphasis on a joke or a story, that's fine. I'm not saying you shouldn't use the words.
Yeah.
But I'm saying if you've got that word is 5 to 1 compared to all the other words in a sentence, it's just like
it's diminishing returns.
Yeah,
that's literally what it is.
You're just not good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say. It like you just don't write well.
Well, it's like, are you a wrestling fan?
I'm not really.
I'm a pro wrestling guy. I love it. I
watched the documentary about the McMahon thing.
Yeah, it's
that one's wild.
That one's wild. But if you were a wrestling fan, you kind of knew most of that stuff.
Yeah.
But for the people that like didn't, I love that documentary because like everybody that's not a wrestling fan is kind of caught up now. Like, oh shit.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of his wife being in charge of education for the country. I'm not a fan of that.
No.
I was a huge wrestling fan when I was a kid, like back in the Hacksaw Jim Duggan and the Jake the Snake and the Hulk Hogan back when I didn't have to question which side he was on or I 100% knew he was taking steroids and didn't care. Like back in those Macho Man and all those guys. So I was a big fan back then. It was something my dad and I would watch. And then it got to like, I remember one time seeing all of a sudden we came back from commercial and there was a bed in the middle of the stage and 2 women were in the bed in lingerie. And I was like, the fuck is this? Okay. First of all, big fan of 2 women in lingerie in bed together.
Yeah.
But there's no way to even make this seem like it just happened.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not a great big fan of
suspension of disbelief
theater,
that much.
I guess. I thought
it turns into that South Park episode where they're just having theater with the wrestlers.
Yeah. So,
but I say it like all the time. It's like I see a lot of similarities between what we do as comedians and then like pro wrestlers. Like independent pro wrestlers are getting merch. They're going from city to city. Trying to make those connections with like a hot dog and a handshake sometimes.
Yeah.
And just trying to get their name out there and try to make a name and get it big.
Yeah.
And it's just what we do.
Dude, with a hot dog and a handshake. You saying that just now is the second time I've heard that in the last 3 days.
Really?
I've never heard that before.
Really?
It's fucking funny though.
It's a wrestling term.
Really?
Because you would get paid. You would get paid money.
Say it the other day.
If you, it's a booker term. I mean, wrestling use it a lot.
Yeah.
But they would say like, "Oh, I didn't get paid for this trip. I got paid in a hot dog and a handshake. That was my pay." And so you would do that for a hot dog and a handshake, but you would get your name out there.
Yeah.
And you might go to that territory, and you get called back in 6 months or something like that.
Yeah.
But I also say like, there's this generation of wrestlers now, like the older ones with podcasts, like Kevin Nash, stuff like that.
Yeah.
That hate the newer generation. And they call them like, oh, they're just doing this flippy bullshit. They're just doing like 20 super kicks and 20 flips in a row. And none of it matters because you do so much at once that the audience is desensitized.
Yeah.
Like you're not building up to these big moves. You're just doing 20 moves, boom, 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 boom. And the audience is like, I don't care.
Yeah.
And these older wrestlers are like, slow down. Stop. Make it impactful. Make that one move matter.
Yeah.
And then the crowd's with you.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of see the same way with comedy. Like you said, like low-hanging fruit. If they say the N-word 20 times,
yeah,
you kind of lost the effect of it.
Right.
Or whatever word you want to use and play like there.
Yeah.
2 white guys talking about the N-word on 2025. In my opinion.
I think that racial equality... No, I know I don't... that's one thing. I don't get into politics. I don't do racial stuff.
Yep.
I'm a pretty safe comic. I'm not PG-13 by any means. Our tickets are... We advertise our shows as adult humor.
Yeah.
I encourage people to be 16 and up.
Yeah.
I'm unloading the meat. Unloading the meat. Unloading the meat.
In the arms of the angel, fly away from here, from this dark, cold hotel room, and the emptiness that you fear. You were pulled from the wreckage of your silent reverie. You're in the arms of the angel. May you find some comfort here. Hi, I'm Jared Ralphie Allen. Will you be an angel for a helpless podcaster? Every day, innocent podcasters are looking for sponsors, and they're crying out for help. Please. Right now, there's a podcaster that needs you. For as little as a cup of coffee a day, you rescue this fat ass from poverty with paid ads running through his podcast and shows. Contact us at unloadingmeat@gmail.com. And with your sponsorship, you'll receive this welcome kit with a photo of the podcaster who has been given a second chance, thanks to you. You're in the arms of the angel. May you find some comfort here. Your sponsorship says, "Hey asshole, say the name of my company. Please contact right now." And we're back.
Woo-hoo.
Matt Ferrell.
Woohoo! Hey, that was a good time, man.
Yeah, man.
Thanks.
Wipe off your nose.
Yeah.
Just kidding. We're not in the fucking stellar. Subscribe now.
No pills, no powder.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Only
I'm
protein powder
I'm
here,
gonna have
brother.
a shirt made that says that. No pills, no powder. Are you a big merch guy?
I like merch.
Yeah.
As you can tell. As you can tell.
Yeah. I overextended with merch in the beginning. Like
Yeah.
I had like 6 different styles of shirts. I've got all this overhead. Then you're having to lug all of it to all your different shows and set it out and get somebody to run your merch table and
I went small. I do batches of 25 shirts.
yeah. So I'm fixing to change it up now. My merch lady, my t-shirt lady, she moved. She lives up here in Tulsa now. So I'm gonna go by and see her probably maybe today or tomorrow. And work on getting some more shirts ordered. But now I'm down to one style of shirt. We talked about, I've got this blue shirt.
Yeah.
And it's super simple. It's Matt Ferrell comedy. That's all it is. But I've got these blue ones, and I think I'm going to do blue and pink shirts. Sizes, like medium to 2X, and then 3X and up.
Yeah.
We'll have to order. Because it's just, once you get over 2X, the price changes.
Oh, don't I know?
Yeah, and so
Subscribe
then,
now.
and then carrying those, it just adds to your overhead.
Yeah.
Now, if somebody at a show is like, hey, I really want one, 100%, we'll get one ordered and I'll mail it to you.
Yeah,
no problem. But so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna narrow it down to just these 2 shirts, a pink one and a blue one. The silicone bracelets, super simple, very cheap, easy to do. You of course, they're just like anything else. The more you order, the cheaper you get them. But you can sell them for $3 to $5 a piece, make a killing on them, or that you get them so cheap, you can also give them away.
Yep.
And it's not that big of a deal. Same thing with stickers.
Yep.
The
one thing I want to get, because like Oklahoma comic, I'm a weed connoisseur and stuff too. I'm a card and stuff, but like especially doing shows in Oklahoma, you're gonna see a lot of weed smokers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's just part of the culture now.
Yeah.
So like I want to get my logo etched on grinders.
Yeah.
And I thought selling grinders with the ham hock.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of a cool merch.
Yeah.
Just have grinders and like little and stuff like that for them.
Yeah, you just gotta figure out how much you could get those for, and like how much you'd have to sell them for, and then is that gonna be doable? Probably the best merch I ever had, which I didn't make a dime off of them because the lady that made them for me, every time I got one sold, I just gave her the money.
Yeah.
And it was Wayne Morris. It was his idea. His girlfriend does wood turning and stuff. She makes a lot of really cool stuff. These hair forks, and I wish I could off the top of my head think of her channel. I would plug her, but I can't think of the name of her channel or her page. But she wood turned me butt plugs. And then they ordered a brand that said handmade by Matt Ferrell Comedy, branded the end of it, and then put a keychain on it. So I had these little keychain butt plugs, and they were awesome. And they sold like crazy, and I think we sold them for like $20 a piece or something. I just gave all the money because there's a lot of work when like I said, they were all handmade.
I have one question.
Yeah.
Just one question. Were they already stained brown?
Ew! Dude! What the fuck?
Well, they were wood. They were made out of wood. Do you know Israel Goldman? Yes. Yeah. Okay. So Israel was opening for me at a show one time, and we had those. And he goes, "I'm gonna do a joke about your butt plug keychains. Is that okay?" I was like, "Yeah, of course." So he goes up there, and he had taken the string out of his hoodie and tied it to his back belt loop, and then tied it to his keys, and had his keys in his pocket. And he goes, "Hey, you be sure and stop by that merch table out there and get you one of those butt plug keychains. You're guaranteed to never lose your keys." He pulls his keys out and drops them and let them swing. So now they're swinging right behind him. And I fucking fell on the floor laughing. It was the funniest thing I'd ever seen. And we sold like 10 butt plugs that day.
That's a good.
Yeah. It was awesome. Dude, Israel Goldman's one of the funniest people I've ever met in my life.
I've met him I think at Looney Bin once, and then we're friends on Facebook. Dude, yeah.
One of the funniest people I've ever met in my life. Great hang. Awesome dude. You wanna smoke some weed? That dude will sit down and smoke some weed with you. We were on the road. We were in Texas. Of course, weed's illegal in Texas still. But I know when people travel, and I got a rule with them. I don't give a shit. You can bring anything you want with you. We get pulled over, motherfucker, you better claim it.
Yeah.
If you don't claim it, I'm not going to jail for your shit. I don't care if you got it, but you better fucking claim it. I'm not going to jail for your shit. I don't care if you got it, but you better fucking claim it.
Yeah.
So I don't really care. I don't pay attention to shit like that. We get to our hotel for the night, and he's unpacking his bag, and he pulls out this. You remember when Tupperware sold those boxes that you fit a whole loaf of bread in?
Yeah.
He pulls
I got
that.
one of them.
He pulls that out, and it is 3/4 full of weed. And I'm like, bro, that's prison. That's not county. That's a significant amount of weed. Like you're trying. They don't give a shit who in the car owns it. We're all going to prison for that. And he goes, I didn't want to leave it at home. I was afraid my roommates would steal it. Like, get better roommates, motherfucker. Shit.
It's like back in like 2012, I lived in Tulsa. I lived on Riverside, right across from the casino, and had a whole bunch of friends. And like 2 of my roommates were the professional wrestlers I talked about earlier. Yeah. And we're having a party, having a drink, stuff like that. And they wanted to do a McDonald's run at like 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
My car they were all parked behind my car, so I couldn't get out.
Yeah.
In this apartment complex. And so they go, take my car, just go to the McDonald's run. I was the one that, drew the bad straw, so I had to go get the McDonald's run.
Yeah.
So I get everybody's orders and stuff. He goes, take my car, here's my keys. I knew he dealt. I knew he smoked. This is before it was legal. It was 2012.
Yeah.
I get in this car, and it just reeks of weed. It just reeks.
Yeah.
And this is the kind of dealer where he had fucking munchies up on the dash for sale. So as he's selling weed, he's like, you want some Funyuns or some Ruffles or some beef jerky?
Wow.
He was that entrepreneur.
What a good drug dealer.
Yeah. He had one of those boxes of fun packs of all those extra chips.
Yeah.
Those mystery chips or whatever.
Yeah.
He'd had a big box of those and like stuff like that.
That's
Just munchies.
fucking hilarious.
So like I go through McDonald's, I get the drive-through, I come back, and he's waiting in the parking lot, just standing in the spot, waiting for me. And I'm like, what's up? He goes, I got a deal, I gotta go. I was like, oh, sorry. He pops the trunk, and there's the 2 duffel bags full of weed.
Yeah.
Just gigantic gym duffel bags full of weed. And I'm driving in the McDonald's parking lot at 1 a.m. just getting McDonald's for everybody.
And everybody that goes to McDonald's at 1 a.m. is suspicious.
Yeah.
So there's a good chance you're getting pulled over.
Yeah. If I got pulled over at McDonald's order for all that, and it was that, I would be going away for years.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, there's no out of that.
After that, I was like, you can get your own fucking McDonald's. I'm done.
So I do a once a month show in Apache, Oklahoma at a place called Griffin Bar and Grill. It's a free show. It's 8 miles from my house. So I kind of created it. It's just my own personal open mic where I can go and work on new material, but then I invite comics to come and jump on it.
That's smart.
And you're not limited to 5 minutes. You're not limited to 7. If you got a new 20-minute set you need to work out, come on.
Yeah.
They've always got a crowd. It's the guy that owns it is awesome. Comics, he makes sure that we eat. He makes sure we got something to drink. He don't charge us for that. He's just an awesome dude. It's a great place. And you can, if you need to work out a 45-minute set, I don't give a shit. Come on. Yeah, like this is a place where you can come and work a full set. You're not limited to 5 minutes.
I will be hitting you up this year.
Fucking come on.
I want to do it.
Come on. So we're at that show, and I tell a story about doing shrooms.
As one is to do.
Yeah, I'm a shroom guy, and I don't do shrooms.
My meat.
I don't do shrooms a lot. I do shrooms maybe once a month, and I'm not a.
I'm sorry. As a person that's never done shrooms, when I hear this, I don't do shrooms much. Just once a month.
Yeah, that's not much. I'm not like eating shrooms every day. What I'm saying.
Okay, as a bisexual man, I'm just gonna say, if somebody walked up and was like, "I'm not gay. I just fuck a dude once a month."
Yeah.
You a faggot.
Yeah,
I can say that I'm bisexual.
Let's
I'm a faggot.
clarify whose voice that was that said that. I don't.
Hey, I can say that I'm bisexual. I'm a faggot timeshare.
Yeah. Well, fuck.
I get Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a pain in the ass.
100%. I can get canceled just as quick for that word as I can the N word. So I just wanted to clarify.
So that's why I've had to change my look. I had to go like this a little bit. The 2 times I've said that joke on stage, it's one of my best jokes. I said I'm a faggot timeshare.
Yeah.
And it kills every time.
Yeah.
Because people are like, that's funny. It's a good line. 2 straight white women have come to me before and be like, you lost them when you said faggot. And I'm like, well, I lost you.
Yeah.
I didn't lose the rest of the crowd.
Yeah. I don't know if y'all were listening to the same joke because I heard laughter.
Yeah. Take the dick out of your mouth. You would hear the laughter.
Yeah. You're offended on behalf of somebody else that's not even here.
I know.
Dumbass. I hate that shit.
I hate that shit too.
So anyway,
I have to go overly gay. I have to be like more out before I'm allowed to say that stuff on stage sometimes. Yeah. I'm more flamboyant, I guess.
Yeah, that's what I know. Somebody else, they do a joke. I think it's Israel. He does a joke, and I think he says it, and he's like, "It's okay. My best friend's gay." He said I could say it.
Yeah,
it's kind of it's a play on the I can say the N word. My best friend's black. He said I could say it. So it's kind of.
I would have voted for Obama for a 4th term.
Yeah,
or 3rd term.
Yeah, it's funny. So anyway, I'm at this show, and I'm telling this story about doing shrooms and having a weird trip or something. Afterwards, we're standing outside and we're visiting. This guy comes up to me and he goes, "Hey man, you like shrooms?" And I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "I got you." And he reached in his pocket and he pulls out this bag. And he said, "Here, hold out your hand." And he just dumps shrooms into my hand. 10 grams. Probably 10 grams.
10 toadstools?
Yeah. He dumps it in my hand. And I'm like, "Fuck, thanks, man." And he's just staring at me. I'm like, "Well, I'm not doing them right now. I still have to drive home and shit. Like, I'm not doing them right now, but I thanks." Now I don't know what to do with them. So I go inside and I get a napkin. I just put them in a napkin. I roll it up. I put it in my backpack. My backpack goes everywhere with me.
Oh, my backpack, my backpack, my backpack. Oh, Andrew, man. My backpack. You can't touch his backpack. My backpack. That's like his one rule. Oh, God. No one can tell I'm coming.
They're actually very good guys.
Yeah. A month later, I have completely forgotten about them. Wayne and I get pulled over in Texas. I was telling you about us getting pulled over earlier.
Yeah.
It's the same time. He's got a tail light out. Cop's talking to us, and he goes, "What's all this stuff in the back?" And we're like, "It's just our stuff. Like, we're just traveling." And Wayne, for whatever fucking reason, goes, "We don't care. You can search our stuff."
You don't have bad luck. The reason that bad things happen to you is because you're a dumbass.
Now, Wayne or I, neither one of us are, like, we don't, like, Wayne, the only thing I'm concerned about this time is I know Wayne's been drinking.
Yeah.
So he might be going to jail for DUI. I've not been drinking, so they might be taking his ass to jail and I'm taking his car.
Yeah.
I'm okay.
Yeah.
But when he says you can search it, I look at him like, why would you say that? Like, I don't even think about it.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I don't care either, but why would you offer?
Yeah. At the end of the night, you're still in the black. You're good.
Yeah. So the cop's like, "I can?" He's like, "Yeah." So he's like, "All right, you guys go ahead and step out." So we get out. He pat searches me. And I'm like, "You're pat searching me? We got pulled over for a taillight, you know?" So he pat searches me. He takes my pocket knife away from me, which I'm like, "Okay." And then he starts searching our stuff. And he picks up my first bag and he goes, "What's this?" I said, "It's just my clothes." He unzips it, kind of rifles around through it, sees my clothes, zips it back up, picks up my backpack and goes, "What's this?" I said, "This is my backpack. It's got notebooks and stuff like that in it." And then he reaches for that top zipper, and all of a sudden, I remember those shrooms. And I'm like, "Oh, fuck." He unzips it. I see the napkin. I'm standing close enough I can see. I see the napkin. He moves the napkin out of the way to see what else is under it, zips it back up, goes on to the other compartments of the bag, puts the bag back down. You talk about an asshole being watertight, buddy. Yeah. I fucking could have whistled. And so we get...
That's a new hot dog in the handshake.
we get done with all that. He gives us our stuff, lets us go. We stop at the very next gas station. The shrooms go into the trash can. Never touch them. And so then the next night we're doing a show with Dakota Price, who's a very funny comic from down by Nacogdoches, Texas. He has Small Price Productions. Shout out to Dakota. And Dakota has been to prison for drug-related charges. So he's like my Texas guy about drugs.
Yeah.
You know? And I'm like, "Hey, listen to this story. This is what happened to us last night." And he goes, "How much do you think it was?" I said, "It was probably close to 10 grams. And he goes, "Oh, that's prison." He goes, that's not county jail. You go to prison for that." And I was like, holy shit. So then next month, I'm back at Apache doing this show, and I'm like, let me tell you guys a story. And I'm only telling the story because the guy who gave me the shrooms is in the building again. I said, he's sitting at the bar with his back to me. I said, last time I was here, somebody, and I'm pointing at the guy, was very nice and gave me some shrooms. And then I tell the whole story, and he turns around and looks, and he goes, "You threw away my shrooms?" Like, yeah, bitch, because I'm scared of prison. What do you mean? Yeah, I threw them away. Oh, my God.
I'm glad you brought that full circle, because I was going to be like, this guy's going to listen to this podcast and be like, "You threw away my shrooms?"
Yeah. And so then, like, later that night, we're outside visiting. He goes, "Man, next time I give you shrooms, you're eating them in front of me."
Don't give me so many.
I was like, cool, I'm down with that, but we got to do it on a night when I've got a driver and I got nothing else to do, because I'm not a social shroom guy.
Yeah.
I want to eat shrooms, sit in my front yard and watch the grass grow.
Yeah.
I like listening to the wind in the trees, and like that's shrooms for me. I've tried it
Put
a
on
couple
Pink
times.
Floyd and just kind of relax.
I've tried it a couple times, like in a with other people, a social setting, and my wife is the best babysitter. She can see me starting to get anxious, and she'll come over. She goes, "You want to go home?" I'm like, "Yeah." And she's like, "All right, get in the car, look at the floorboard."
Yeah.
Just like when you if you're in a car, like everything looks like you're going warp speed.
Yeah.
We passed a Sonic one time. She's taking me home because I attempted to be social again. And you know how if you pass a Sonic, all their menus, like as you go past them, it's you see them real quick. We passed that. She's doing maybe 35 miles an hour. I felt like I was in Star Trek when they go warp speed, and all of a sudden you see all the lights get real long and go past, or Star Wars. I don't know.
Light speed.
I don't mean to be
fucking nerd.
Yeah, I don't mean to be disrespectful. I don't know the difference between Star Trek and Star Wars, but I do know the light speed look.
One fan base gets laid,
and
it's not the one you think of.
Star Wars gets laid.
Probably.
Yeah. Okay. Why, are you a Star Trek fan?
No, I'm a Star Wars fan.
Okay. What do you mean probably then?
Well, I'm just saying it's a lightsaber, so it's going to be more pegging, but...
Oh, yeah.
I got a bit about that. We were talking about your butt plugs earlier, and I was like, I talk about, like, one time I tried pegging with my ex-wife.
My butt plug merch. Don't say my butt plugs.
Your butt plug merch. Like Let me clarify.
If somebody's just now tuning in,
not
they're
your
getting
personal
the wrong
butt
idea.
plug. Your butt plug merch.
Yeah, my personal ones are not for sale.
I talked about how like I tried pegging once and it wasn't for me, but it unlocked something deep inside with my wife.
Yeah.
And like, you know, like I thought she was into Star Wars. She wasn't. Just, you know, didn't matter what lightsaber she shoved up my ass. And some guy in the crowd, I said, didn't even matter if it was a dark saber. Yeah. You know, I just did that joke. And some guy goes, "This is the way." And I was like, that's a good tag.
Yeah. Oh, God. I was visiting with somebody the other day, and I said, matter of fact, when I was on my way over here, I was like, as soon as he starts talking to me, the first thing I'm going to say is, so earlier today I was watching porn.
What type?
Yeah. Well, and that's where it goes to is somebody asked me not too long ago, they were like, what kind of porn do you like? Puts everybody, I was like, I don't fucking know. I open the app and the first one that looks appealing to me.
That's pretty much it, yeah.
If it's got, sometimes it's got two chicks. Sometimes it's just two chicks. Sometimes it's a dude and two. Sometimes it's just a dude and a chick. Sometimes it's a chick by herself. Sometimes they're a cartoon.
Yeah.
I don't know. Whatever struck me at that time. Sometimes the cartoon girls also have dicks, and I don't know how I feel about it.
And then now for like 2 weeks, I can't watch Family Guy.
Yeah. I'm like, God damn it, Lois.
That's why they hate Meg.
Dude, I have such a hard on.
She does butt stuff.
I have such a hard on for Elastigirl. Like that ass.
Yes!
Is ridiculous.
Dude, they added her to Fortnite, and they made her appropriate.
Yeah.
Because Fortnite's a third-person game, meaning you see your character. You're not in the character, like first person. So everybody's like, we know why you put Mrs. Incredible in the game. So everybody's just playing, watching her ass.
Yeah. My wife and I went to an adult Halloween party a couple years ago.
It was just a meet and greet at Spencer's.
And we walked in.
Not Spencer Mills, Spencer's Gifts.
Yeah. We walked in, and there is a girl there she's Elastigirl. And you could not have found a better live person to wear this outfit.
Yeah. She's got a dumper.
Man.
Yeah.
And as soon as I see her, my wife comes up and said, do we need to go? Like, I know how you feel about Elastigirl. Am I in competition right now? Like, what are we doing?
You're just glad you're not wearing elastic right now?
I'm like, no, we don't have to go, but I do need to sit down, right? It is wild.
I always laugh, too, because the same actress that plays Elastigirl is also the wife in Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
Oh, really?
Yeah, the one that was like, that George Clooney's going after.
Yeah.
And she's like an asshole about rules and stuff like that.
Vernon here's got a job. Vernon's got prospects. He's bona fide. What are you?
I'll tell you what I am. I'm the paterfamilias.
I just always remember that, and I'm like, and she's Mrs. Incredible, too.
Yeah. Yeah.
In real life, she does not look like that.
No.
Nobody does.
Man. This girl that I met at this party, I'm telling you, bro, like her haircut and face, like she didn't look like it, but body-wise, there was not a better person to be wearing that outfit.
If you think that's bad, look at the voice actor for Mr. Incredible. It's Craig T. Nelson from Coach.
Yeah.
I don't think he looks like Mr. Incredible at all.
Not at all. I probably still wouldn't fuck with him, but yeah,
that was a deep cut reference. Coach?
Yeah.
Remember Coach?
Yeah. Not too long ago, somebody, my hometown, one of those, local Facebook pages, they were like, hey, date yourself with a store that used to be here. And bro, like it started going back, and I was like, oh my God, I'm old. I'm way back here because I'm naming stuff. I look at, and here's my problem is when I'm in a room with somebody, I still think I'm the youngest person in the room.
Yeah.
No matter, I feel like I'm the younger person here. There's no doubt in my mind. I'm definitely older. I'm definitely older than you. But I still feel like the young person. And then the times that I feel
It's just
old.
this room giving you that vibe.
Yeah.
You're on the
I'm definitely in a child's room.
We're on the porn parody of Barney.
But the times that I feel old is when I'm sitting at a stoplight and a cop car pulls up next to me and I look at that cop and I'm like, that motherfucker's not old enough to drive. I look at cops and I'm like, are you? And
he is old enough to take away your rights.
I have almost been arrested before because I got irritated. A cop pulled me over. I was speeding. I'm doing 12 over or some shit. He pulls me over and then this little prick starts lecturing me on driving safety and all this shit. I'm like, motherfucker.
Yeah.
I had 10 speeding tickets before you were born. What are you talking? Don't lecture me on safe driving.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've never been in a wreck that was my fault.
Yeah.
I got a lot of speeding tickets. I drive fast.
Yeah.
You know, I don't like to use my turn signal all the time.
I feel seen.
Yeah. So, but like you want to fuck off.
Yeah.
Write the ticket and go away.
Yeah.
I'll pay the ticket. I was speeding. I'll own that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to listen to a child. If one of my sons came up and said, "Dad, you need to be a better driver," he's getting punched in the mouth.
Yeah.
I will punch a child.
Yeah.
Well, all my kids are grown, so it's not really a child, but my youngest is 17. He's fixing to be 18 in March. So that's how old I am.
Damn.
My oldest just turned 25. But like I said, she was at my high school graduation.
So what you're saying is I want to adjust my demographics whenever I post this video.
Yeah, you're gonna need to bump those numbers up to 65 and older.
Hashtag
range.
AARP.
Yeah, hell yeah. I don't get that magazine yet, but I'm looking forward to it.
After this, we're gonna go to the Old Country Buffet. It's too late. We should have had lunch at 11.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna be in bed by 7. Which goes with what I was saying earlier when I was like, oh, we could have gone to an open mic last night, but I was like, it's cold and I'd just rather be in bed.
Dude, I was the same way. Like, I mean, that's kind of the luxury, I guess, from living right outside of town. It's like, it's 40 minutes to the cellar. It's right up 75. I can go right there in 40 minutes to be back.
Yeah.
But it was like 7:30 last night. I got my food from dinner and I was like, I really don't feel like it.
Yeah.
It's cold.
Yeah. Bro, it's so cold. Right? But I'm thankful for this. It's just cold.
Yeah.
I can deal with I don't like it, but I can deal with it. The ice and the snow and all, I don't like it.
Last weekend sucked.
Yeah.
Last weekend? So
I lost 3 shows last weekend.
Really?
Yeah, I was supposed to be in Louisiana and Mississippi last weekend with Lunchbox Comedy. And I pulled out of my driveway. It took me a little over an hour to go a distance. It usually takes me 25 minutes.
So you lost shows in Louisiana?
Yeah.
It's because George Bush doesn't like black people.
That motherfucker. Son of a bitch. We'll blame everything on him. Yeah. I don't care.
Which now that clip's gone full circle now to where we're like, yeah, but Kanye's in that clip.
Yeah. Dude, I don't know. Like, what's going on why is everybody mad at Snoop Dogg right now?
I have no idea. They're mad at Snoop?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
I'm assuming that he's performing at the inauguration or something, maybe.
I know Kid Rock did today.
And they were all like, well, of course Kid Rock did. He probably brought his AR-15 and some Bud Light to do
Did you ever watch the show on HBO called Silicon Valley?
No.
It's about like tech nerds and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's really funny. It's made by the guy that made King of the Hill and it's Mike Judge. But the opening episode starts out with like this tech CEO that like sold his stuff to Google for like $1 billion, and he's having this big after party.
Yeah.
And he's like, and here, let me introduce you to my best friend, Kid Rock. And Kid Rock comes out to all these nerds. He's doing a concert to like 100 nerds.
Take it away, my good friend, Kid Rock.
What a dick.
Yeah.
And I'm like, people posted that they're like, this is the inauguration of 2025. Here's my best friend, Kid Rock.
Woo! Yeah! Somebody make some motherfucking noise in here! Fuck these people.
Here's my political statement. I loved Kid Rock.
Yeah.
As soon as he started getting political, and I don't care what side.
See, he lost me whenever he started going country.
I'm not a fan.
As soon as he did the song with Sheryl Crow, like, I don't care about your picture today, okay?
Yeah.
Put it up away. Like, I want to go with Ball What You Ball, okay?
Yeah.
I was a Kid Rock fan back when Joe C was still alive.
Yeah.
When he had that little dwarf that was talking about how he had a 9-foot cock, a 3'9"
with a 10-foot
long.
dick. Yeah. Hell
it's
yeah.
3'9", I'm 10 foot.
Yeah. 3'9" with a 10-foot dick. Yeah. That was great. It was great.
Yeah.
Dude, that was white boys pump up anthem.
Yeah.
You crank that up in your car when you're on your way someplace. You get out. You're either gonna get the job if you're going to an interview. You're gonna win the fight if you're going to fight somebody. Like, dude, that was a pump up.
You want to know what the very definition of like exactly right? I'm gonna put it in post. Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift.
Yeah.
The opening scene is that white redneck dude racing that rich boy, the kid from Home Improvement.
Yeah.
And they're going through this construction yard with Bawa Chabal playing.
I thought you loved me.
And he ramps through a house.
You're gonna win.
Yeah.
Dude, it was pump up. Hey, I listened to this the other day. I was on my way to Comedy Avenue, and I got there, and Nick Campbell and Andrew were already there, and I said, like they were saying hi. I cut them off, and I was like, "Do you guys realize there is no better pump up music than big hair, '80s rock bands?
Yes.
Like there's nothing better."
Yeah.
And so I was on my way to town, and I'm going on Spotify, and I'm like, let me listen to some pump up. I wasn't even performing that night, but I just felt like being pumped up, I guess. So I started looking up big hair bands, and I come across a band, and now I can't remember what their name was.
It was Rush.
No, I can't. But it was absolutely. They're from like the Netherlands or something, or Denmark. I don't. Those might be the same place.
Yeah.
I don't even know. I know nothing. We're not a very intelligent person, but. And the song was the song was absolutely hilarious.
Yeah.
And so then I played it for them, and now they're hooked on it too.
Well, like one of my favorite bands is called The Darkness. They had a song back in the 2000s called "I Believe in a Thing Called Love."
Yeah.
They're a huge rock band in like Europe and stuff like that, and they came from England.
Yeah.
That band is hilarious because they're a hair glam band. Like, they sound like 80s glam rock.
Yeah.
But they're made in the 2000s later.
Yeah.
And in like the 4 years that they went like big mainstream from I Believe in a Thing Called Love, they basically went through like every trap that an 80s hair metal band would ever go through.
Yeah.
Where like they had a #1 hit. The second album didn't do as good. The lead singer got into a cocaine problem and got into a drug problem. The band split up. It had two brothers that were rivals. They formed rival bands. And they had two rival tours. And then they had a reunion all in 4 years.
Nice.
So it's like they went through the entire history of rock in like 3 albums.
Yeah. So hey, some people just get it done quicker.
Yeah.
You know, I always tell people I rode bulls for a long time when I was younger, and I've got 2 sons, and I never encouraged either one of them to do that. But at some point in both of them's life, they're like, hey, we want to do that too.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, we're gonna make it happen.
Wear a helmet.
Yeah, I'm gonna take you someplace where I know the people. They're gonna get you on something that's not gonna be too crazy. So my youngest son, and this was a few years ago, I get him a vest, I get him a helmet, I get him on this bull, and it's a little jump kick, nothing to it. He falls off, of course. It's his first time on something. First time you get on a bull, you don't remember.
Yeah.
You don't know nothing. Everything's a blackout. He falls off, he lands kind of weird, he gets up, he's crying about his arm. And I said, hey, suck it up, Buttercup. You want to ride bulls, you get hurt.
Yeah.
But I watched, and we recorded it, I watched it back. I'm like, it's nothing. Like, he's, my arm. And he goes, I'm not doing that no more. I said, here's the deal. Get on one more. I don't care if you never do it again after that.
Yeah.
I didn't want you to do it in the first place. Get on one more. That's for you.
Yeah.
Because if you only get on that one, 2 years from now, you're going to be like, I wonder what would have happened.
Yeah.
Let's just get on one more. So I talk him into it. He gets on one
No
more.
regrets.
He gets hung up. This son of a bitch drags him around the arena. He's bouncing off every fucking fence post. It's stepping on both of his legs. By the time we get him loose, he doesn't have either one of his boots on anymore. His pants are ripped. He's beat all to hell. His mom's screaming at me because, of course, it's all my fault, even though I tried to talk him out of the whole thing.
When in doubt, bury the kid. Not
so
literally, but
we get done, and I'm like, this boy just had an entire bull riding career in 2 bulls. He's done.
Yeah.
And so the older one, he kept going. We went a few more times, and he kept getting on some. And then he just one day goes, I don't want to do this. He goes, I don't know, why did you keep doing something that you wake up sore every day?
Yeah.
I'm like, because when you win, it's worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was kind of a different deal. But
I never got into bull riding. My 2 sisters, I'm the baby of the family. I grew up with 2 sisters, 2 older sisters, and they were both into 4-H, and my parents were all like the head of 4-H, so horse, barrels, poles, and flag. They would do all that stuff, the rodeos. then like when I got into a teenager, I was never into horses or any of that stuff. I was into like 4-wheelers and going fast. So my dad got me a fucking Yamaha Banshee, and we souped that fucker up.
Yeah.
And we did a thing around this area called shodeos. I don't know if you ever heard of that.
Yeah, yeah.
It's barrels, poles, and flags, but with 4-wheelers.
Yeah.
And so we were going through this circuit of Kansas and Oklahoma, and we had a travel trailer, had a garage in the back, and we had 2 souped up 4-wheelers, and we had strapped down and stuff, and we were just doing rodeo events in full motocross gear.
Yeah.
And I'm just going like 100 miles an hour on fucking Banshee.
Good times.
It was fun as hell, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my experience with it, like, bull riding or that kind of stuff, that arena stuff.
That life.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a blast. I loved it. And I mean, I remember everything I ever did every time I take a step, you know, because I creak and crack and moan, and I don't have any cartilage left in most places of my body. I've broke most of it. Like we sat down one day and just made a list of everything that I had broke, and it was pretty ridiculous.
It's gonna look like that.
I have a lot. This is how much time I spent in hospitals. My sister-in-law is fixing to become an RN, and I helped her with all of her schoolwork because I knew shit from, just from being in the hospital so much.
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, that's a test when they're testing to see what enzymes are in your liver.
Do you know who Mick Foley is?
Yeah.
The wrestler? On the back of his first autobiography, that was the back of his thing. It was all of his broken bones. Every single injury.
Hell yeah. I bet some of them are ×4.
Yeah.
Shit like yeah.
I mean, he had his ear torn off in the ring.
Yeah.
He got looped around. I don't know if you know this. He got his head caught between the ropes.
Oh, yeah.
And he would do the move where he would take a clothesline over the top rope, and then his head would get caught between the middle and the top rope. And he'd look like he's like choking in it.
Yeah.
Well, what he didn't know is the wrestler beforehand, a match before, was like, these ropes are too loose. Tighten them up. So when he got into it, he was killing himself. He was live in front of the crowd dying.
Yeah.
And he had to do something, so he slipped his head off, and he pulled his ear off.
Yeah.
Slipped it right off in Germany.
That's wild.
And then he had to go straight to the ER in Germany, and then they're like, they put his ear on ice, and then they eventually just like tried to throw it away. They're like, oh, you don't need this. And he's like, I want that back.
Yeah, can you bring that back, please? Yeah. Yeah, that's wild. I've heard a lot of stories. Like I watched a deal with Steve Austin one time. He's talking about how he landed on his neck or something. Yep. Basically, he broke his neck. And I don't remember who he was in the match with, but of still allowing him to beat them.
Yep.
Even though he goes, my 5-year-old daughter could have pinned him better.
Yeah. He had a stinger. Basically lost all, he couldn't move. He lost all feeling in his body. Owen Hart did a pile driver and didn't squeeze his legs tight enough.
Yeah.
So his head was too exposed.
Yeah.
So he dropped down straight on his head, cracked his neck, and then Owen Hart knew it, and he told Owen, he's like, I'm hurt. I can't move.
Yeah.
So Owen just started playing to the crowd for about 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes. If you watch the match, he goes right into character, just like being a heel, being a bad guy, just like, you suck, you suck. He's just getting the crowd to boo him.
Yeah.
And they're just, Steve's working to get feeling back, and finally he gets like his arm feeling. He's like, I'm good. And then he rolls him up.
Yeah.
For a surprise. And that's the match.
Yeah.
Owen completely finished that match.
That's like, those are the kind of things that I'm like, hey, big respect for those guys.
That's the interesting thing to me.
Not only the physical ability to do those things, but to even in the face, because that's got to be terrifying.
Yeah.
I got paralyzed for several hours one time, and it was the most scared.
Yeah.
I got my eyes couldn't focus. I couldn't. Earlier you were talking about laying in the bed and all you could see was the hospital lights.
Yeah,
and
when my arm was there.
Yeah, that's all I could see. It was all I get my eyes to focus on. I could hear people coming in and talking, but I had no movement. I couldn't feel anything.
And you didn't even have Freebird.
And I was just like, this is the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And I didn't know how bad it was until I heard my mom crying. She didn't know how bad it was until she walked in the room. I didn't hear her, and she ran her finger at the bottom of my foot, and I didn't react. Yeah. I've got the most ticklish feet in the world. And she ran her finger at the bottom, and there was no reaction. And all of a sudden, she starts crying. I'm like, Mom? Yeah, so it was terrifying. And then it was a whole crazy story. But to be in that much fear, but not get out of character because of the crowd.
Yeah.
They never broke character for the audience. And I'm like, that's
there's a show on Netflix now. It's called Heels.
Mm-hmm.
It was on Starz. It got canceled, and they're trying to bring it back. If it gets popular enough on Netflix, they're going to bring it back for season 3, supposedly.
Yeah.
But it's the guy from Arrow.
Mm-hmm.
He plays the main guy, and he's like an indie promotion trying to run a family-promoted wrestling business.
Yeah.
It's so good. It is one of the best written shows you'll ever see.
Yeah.
It only had 2 seasons, but they go through the ins and outs, like what happens when somebody like breaks their leg in the middle of a match.
Yeah.
And there's a whole crowd, and they have to improv.
Yeah.
They do that during the show. Like, you see it.
Yeah.
And like they go through some really real shit. And it's pretty cool to see the ins and outs.
Yeah.
Of how, like, it's all a stage show. It's all a show.
Yeah.
It's all an act. It's like what we do.
Yeah.
It's all a performance. And, and sometimes you want to be like, Oz and pull back the curtain a little bit.
Yeah.
But a lot of times it's all just pomp and circumstance and kind of just blowing it all up.
Yeah, and they're just having to figure it out on the fly. And I think, man, that's my biggest respect for those guys.
Yeah.
I mean, outside of the physicality,
yeah,
you take way more steroids than I would ever be willing to take, and you're jacked, and that's amazing. You can lift Andre the Giant. That's cool.
Yeah.
But you also got seriously injured and stayed in character.
Yeah.
Wow. That the mentality of it is what is crazy to me. You're talking about ear ripped off. Have you ever watched rugby?
A little bit, not a lot, but I know it's
those
violent
guys
shit.
are insane. I'm in a bar one time and they had rugby playing, and I'm watching it. And this guy, they get one of those deals where they like all lock arms and they're pushing this way and that way, and then it goes nuts. And this guy stands up and his ear is attached at the bottom, and it's just flopped and hanging. He goes to the sidelines. 2 plays later, he's back in the game. They just took athletic tape
and taped his ear back?
Taped it around his head, just taped his ear back, finished the game. They're like, yeah, we'll worry about that.
So he was a Shriner.
Yeah. Like, are you crazy? Dude, if I get a scratch, I'm like, I'm done for the day, guys.
It's kind of funny because, like, Europeans and all this thing all the time is like, rugby makes NFL look like pussies.
Yeah.
And, like, but then it's like, you go to soccer, though, and it's like, red card, I'm hurt.
Yeah. Have you ever seen that show,
The Slight
Special
Breeze.
Forces? It's a reality show where all these celebrities come in and these Special Forces guys kind of put them through the ringer.
No.
And they can drop out anytime. And there's this...
I was going to Delta Force with, like, Chuck Norris.
Donovan something. I can't remember his last name, but he was a famous soccer player. And he's on there, and like one of the first things he does, he's whining and crying about something, and my wife's like, "Man, that guy's kind of whiny." Well, he's a fucking soccer player.
Yeah,
he's used to flopping.
Yeah,
he's used to somebody getting close and going, "It's good enough." I was making fun of him because he's a soccer player.
I was watching.
I hate soccer.
I'm not a big sports guy besides like pro wrestling, but like I like, we all suffer from anxiety and stuff. There was a clip going on like TikTok last week of like I think it was Chiefs or some NFL player. He was the kicker.
Mm-hmm.
And before he goes up to kick, he's taking his helmet off like 4 or 5 times and like running his hands through his hair because his anxiety's going out of control.
The Redskins kicker touched his hair 18 times in 18 seconds. He made 3 different attempts to put on his helmet. And being a kicker with OCD is some special type of torture, because bro was a commercial break away from a panic attack, and then when he went out there for the game-winning field goal, he still almost missed it, but got a lucky bounce when it doinked off the upright. Well, I didn't even mention what he does with his socks and shoes during every game, since anytime he feels a wrinkle, he will fully take off his shoes to readjust his sock underneath it.
Yeah.
And so he's just like, you see him on the sidelines, somebody just captured it on film. As he's walking up to go, he's just like, undoing the helmet, going through the hair. It's like he has an OCD. He has to keep doing this tick.
Yeah.
Of like putting his hands through his hair, and then he'll finally do the kick.
Yeah.
And it's like he's just going out of control anxiety-wise.
Yeah.
About to go nuts.
It's, I know like people like comedians, like they have rituals before shows.
Yeah.
Like before they go on stage, these things that they've got to do. I can't remember who it is that like they're stretching. They're stretching like they're fixing to go run or enter a karate match or something. I'm like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm stretching.
That's all Louis C.K. was doing behind the scenes.
Oh, okay, I guess.
Right?
And then I watched
he was just around the corner jerking off, right? That's just what his ritual was, right, ladies?
He's just stretching one thing. I saw this guy. He was a motivational speaker, and his thing was he had one of those little one-man trampolines off the side of the stage, and he would just be back there, and he'd be bouncing on his trampoline, getting his blood flowing, getting up, and as soon as they'd say his name, he'd get off the trampoline, walk out there, and he's pumped. And I'm like, I guess. I mean, if it works for you.
See, if
Andrew Patterson's a stretcher too. He stretches before he goes on stage.
If I brought a one-man trampoline on stage, do you know what I would call that?
A bit.
A basement maker. I jumped once.
Nice. I like it. How do you feel about prop comics?
I have some friends that are prop comics. I mean, anything can be a crutch. It's just like we talked about, like the N-word or like any other word.
Yeah.
Anything can be a crutch if you do it too much.
Yeah.
Too much. But at the same time, there's a place for everything.
Yeah. That's my deal. Is if that's your thing, do it to the best of your ability.
Yeah.
Don't be hacky.
Yeah.
No matter what you're doing, don't be hacky.
Yeah.
Do it great.
Do it.
I mean, obviously,
commit.
Carrot Top's going to be the best prop comic, of all time. Outside
Gallagher.
Of, like, Gallagher. Yeah. But then, even Teddy, like he's got some, he does some prop stuff.
Yeah. On stage,
and during this deal, he did a couple of things that I'd never seen before. So, or the deal we just did. So I don't want to talk about it too much because I know he filmed it, and I hope he's going to be releasing it.
I'm unloading the meat.
This episode of Unloading Meat is not brought to you by the makers of the action figures behind me, such as Hasbro, Jazzwares, or even NECA. You may be thinking that they target, kids, but really their key demographic, fat asses like me. If you want me to afford more of this, awesome set design, make sure to reach out to your favorite sponsors and tell them to sponsor this fat ass. Now, back to the show.
Do you know, what's his name? I don't think you'll know him, but do you know who Jeremy Piven? Or Piven? The
actor?
Yeah.
From Entourage stuff?
Entourage, yeah, and he does stand up.
Okay.
And I won't go into how I know all this information other than it was at OKC's Bricktown, and apparently this Jeremy Piven or Piven, I don't know how you say his name.
Piven.
Apparently he's a piece of shit.
I've heard that before.
At OKC Bricktown, he goes up and he tears he knocks the sign down off the wall hanging on the back of the stage. So and they talk to his people and they talk to him like, hey man, don't do that. Like don't tear our stuff up. So on night 2, he goes up there and he waits till the second show of night 2 and does it again. Then he goes back up night 3, second show of night 3, and he does it again. This time he breaks it.
Oh my God.
It breaks. And he's just doing that out of spite because bitch, I don't care how many movies you've been in.
Just a diva move. Yeah.
This shit belongs to me. Like you're breaking somebody else's property. You piece of shit. Anyway, I don't know for sure all the ramifications that come from that, but I heard that they basically called his people and were like, if he's still a client of yours, nobody else that's a client of yours will ever be booked with us again.
Yeah.
Like you get rid of him or all your people just got rid of us.
Yeah.
Type of situation. And I was like, fucking good for them. And that guy can go fuck himself.
That's like some
I used to like that movie. I'll never watch that movie again. Fuck him.
Prince back in the day did that, something like that, because Prince has always been a diva.
Yeah.
But he went on Jimmy Fallon, and Jimmy Fallon's band was The Roots. I mean, that's their famous band. They're a very famous band.
Yeah.
And they have an amazing guitarist, and he's a big Prince fan. And if you don't know The Roots, they're an all-black band.
Yeah.
So when Prince is coming on the show, that's a big deal for them. That's like one of their idols.
Mm-hmm.
So Prince is coming on the show. He's not going to interview. He refuses to do an interview. He's just going to perform his music and leave.
Yeah.
And so in the back, I guess the guitarist from The Roots was like, "Hey, you can play my guitar. It would be an honor for you to play my guitar." So Prince plays the guitar on the show and then just smashes the shit out of it at the end of his set and walks off.
Really?
Yes.
I gotta look at it and watch that.
Yeah. He destroyed the Roots guitarist's guitar.
Wow.
Just on a whim, just like a fuck you.
Wow.
Yeah.
I hate to hear that.
Yeah. It's just diva being diva, man.
Man, I hate that. So I'm always a huge fan of people like my favorite thing that I ever heard about, Elvis Presley.
Yeah.
Would he'd be someplace and he'd see somebody that was, hard times or needed help with it, he'd just go buy him a car.
Yeah.
I heard Garth Brooks did the same thing with, when he still lived here in Oklahoma. He was driving down 40, saw some people broke down, stopped, picked him up. He goes, "Come on, I'll give you all a ride to town." And instead, he just drove straight to the dealership and bought these people a new car. And I love hearing when celebrities and people do stuff like that. I like that even better than they donated $10 million to the Feed the Children. I am so much more impressed when it's a personal one-on-one. They did this for this person.
Well, because then also I can be like, the suspension of disbelief is also like, can I see which children you fed?
Yeah.
Do you have a receipt?
Right. Yeah.
Proof?
Yeah. Yeah.
It didn't just go to the corporation.
So you got a tax write-off.
Yeah.
That's what you did.
Thanks for rocking Oprah. You really saved Hawaii.
Yeah. Yeah. That's my biggest political gripe right now, which I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't like Trump. I didn't like Biden. None of them have ever called me and asked me my opinion.
Yeah.
They've also never done anything really that's directly affected me.
Yeah.
I'm not in the right tax bracket.
Yeah.
Like some of the decisions they've made have probably made it harder for me to get to a different tax bracket, but they don't care.
It's very, I mean, that's kind of like when Chappelle said at one time, like people are always talking like, Trump doesn't like, something along the lines of like, people are always talking about the tax brackets of Trump and stuff like that. And Chappelle was like, he's talking to me. Like, I'm rich. Like, I'm in that tax bracket. Like, he's doing good for me. Like,
and so, but
we're not getting political here.
We're not getting political. I was saying that to
as it's inauguration day as we're recording this.
Yeah, to get the point across that I don't care either way. I don't like him. I didn't like the last guy.
Yeah.
And they're from different sides of the aisle. So
the funniest part, I will say this, is about as political as I'm going to do it. Because like I listen, like I have like Google CarPlay in my car. I went to go get some Monsters before we recorded, and like before it switches over to my phone, it goes to like FM radio or something like that. So like, of course, the local Bartlesville station's playing the fucking inauguration, and they're giving commentary on it. The inauguration's also on MLK Day.
Yeah,
Martin Luther Jr. Day. So in the inauguration, like there's like this weaving of like things of almost like Martin Luther King will be proud on this day and stuff like that. Really? And they're using that as the rhetoric. And I'm like,
Willie though?
Willie? Are you sure?
I don't think he was your target demographic either.
Yeah, I know. They're like, he's really going to uphold the legacy of Martin Luther King today. Like,
yeah.
What?
Yeah, I don't know. But so this is what I was getting. This is my biggest political gripe.
I have a dream of this orange man.
Yeah, even black kids can play with orange kids. But
tangerine.
You got the fires going out in California right now, and I understand that there's the conspiracy theories, and they might be right that they're burning a certain way because that's going to be what's best for the. I don't know. I don't care. What I do care about is there are people that are losing their homes and in some cases losing their lives.
Yeah,
they need help. And these political figures are saying, I don't think that California deserves our help because they didn't do things the way we want it. So you're saying that you're okay with these people losing everything they own and sometimes their life because somebody that runs their state has a different political view from you?
How is that? Yeah.
Like, shut the fuck up. Like, people are dying, man.
When did human decency become a bad thing? You know what I mean?
Like, when did politicians become celebrity?
Yeah.
Marjorie Taylor Greene, nobody except for the people of Georgia should know who she is. A fucking psycho is what she is.
Yeah.
That bitch is crazy.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit what side of the aisle she sits on. That has nothing to do with politics.
Well,
she's nuts.
Well, it's the thing of like, this is about as the biggest thing I got to say about it is just like in 2025, everybody is an influencer. It's not about a politician. It's not about being an actor or anything. Everything is an influencer.
Yeah.
If you're The Rock in every movie, and then your brand is going to bring the people to it. You're not playing a different role.
Right.
Politicians, Trump made his brand.
Yeah.
And he's an influencer, and he went through all the fucking podcasts and everything, and he drove that home, and it worked.
Yeah.
And also, it's like, spoke to people like in the class of like, inflation and all that stuff.
Yeah.
It worked.
Yeah. I don't know. I've got opinions on all that shit or whatever. I'm not smart enough to do political comedy for sure. I like listening to political comedy. Dude, Louis Black is one of my favorite people on the planet. I love listening to all the late night talk shows when they do the political jokes and they make fun of everybody. I like it just as much when they make fun of one as when they make fun of the other. Like, so I'm not leaning one way or the other. My thing is, hey, if you're not out here to help somebody, then leave them alone.
Yeah.
Don't look for a reason to put them down.
Yeah.
If you don't agree with them, that's fine.
Yeah.
Don't be in their bubble.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
You can have a different opinion. Like that's where I get at is like there's this overwhelming sense, and I don't want to say it's like fucking patriarchy or masculinity or anything like that shit, but there's this sense that if you say that you're wrong, you're weak.
Yeah.
And there's just been this overwhelming wave of like you're never going to admit you're wrong.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of blanketed everything to where it's like, that's not great. Like empathy. Where did empathy go?
Yeah.
Where did, caring about somebody else or admitting like, hey, I was wrong.
Yeah.
When did that used to be a sign of strength.
Right.
Admitting whenever you were wrong and learning from it. You know what I mean? Like that used to be something of wisdom.
So I also like, I don't like
not something to fear.
Right. Oh God. You want the best. Have you ever watched the show, The Newsroom?
Yes.
With Jeff
my
Daniels?
God. One of my all-time favorite shows.
Oh my God!
Especially the first 15 minutes.
Yeah, the first 15. And I saw that clip before I knew that it was a show, and then that's what made me watch the show. And I now own the show and have watched the entire
3 seasons.
Three seasons, probably 3 times.
That's some of those clever writing. It's so fast.
Fantasy football draft starts in 10 minutes.
I know. I'm the commissioner.
Your parents must be proud.
They are. I was elected unanimously.
You were unopposed, just like when you were elected class treasurer.
That was an important job.
It wasn't.
Why does it have to be like this?
Because you're a nerd and I'm a nerd, and you make nerds look bad.
No, I make nerds look good.
Man, it's so good and touches on everything.
Yeah,
and I absolutely love it. But that's so, and it's okay. I know we weren't gonna, but anyway,
it's all right.
So
The Newsroom, if you don't know, was a show that was it was basically in 2025. It's a sci-fi show.
Yeah.
It's what if the news told the truth.
Yeah. Insane. Who would have thunk?
What if the newscaster one day was like, "Hey, I'm not gonna go with all these people that are paying us, for just different deals and stuff. I'm just gonna report what I want to say."
Yeah. Here's the only thing.
And it blew up the world apparently in that show.
Remember, like when I first started watching that show, I was telling my dad, I was like, "Dad, I started watching this new show. It's absolutely amazing. It's kick ass. I love it." And then it gets to about the third episode, and I realized that Jane Fonda's in it.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, shit, I hope my dad doesn't watch the show. Because he's going to be mad at me. Because when I was a kid growing up, if it had Jane Fonda in it, it wasn't on our TV. Yep. And rightfully so, after hearing all the stories, especially from my dad, a Vietnam vet's point of view. Yeah.
They label her a traitor.
Yeah.
A lot of people in a generation label her still to this day as a traitor to the U.S.
Yeah. And here's what's bad is because there's a lot of times, like, I'm not really paying attention to the actor that I'm watching or whatever. Yeah. So there's been, like, my wife used to watch that. There was a show where it was her and another woman. Something in Grace. I mean, not Will and Grace, but
Frankie and Grace, or Grace and Frankie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I'm watching that, and
I have an older mom. I know.
I'm 10 minutes into watching that show, and I think it's absolutely hilarious. These two women are perfectly compatible. It's amazing. And all of a sudden, I was like, oh shit, that's Jane Fonda.
Yeah.
I'm not supposed to be watching this, Yeah.
But
so I hate that because she's so good.
Can you separate the artist from the art?
Right.
It happens a lot.
In most cases, you should be able. I'm still a huge fan of Bill Cosby's comedy.
Yeah.
Bill Cosby as himself is probably the best stand-up special ever.
I'm just not going to accept a drink from him. Like,
yeah. And I damn sure don't want my daughter taking a drink from him. So. Yeah, and same thing with I don't remember, somebody used to do a bit. They were like, how good do you have to be at what you do before people are okay with you being a terrible person?
I do have one thought though on Bill Cosby before we leave that.
Okay.
Do you think whenever he drugged them, he would go Jello into life just to see if they were still awake?
Just test them out, see if they sang along or not. You got to get in the pudding.
The best thing I ever saw was like there was this game called Left 4 Dead, and it's like a zombie game.
Yeah.
It's like you as 4 people like having to survive a zombie apocalypse. Mm-hmm. Somebody took all the zombie sound effects and replaced them with Bill Cosby.
It's okay, take your time. What do you like to play? Wait, damn it. Cover me. Come on. No. You're bopping. Jam. Asshole.
Yeah. It's like, get away, Bill Cosby, get away.
Oh, it's great. I love when people are creative like that.
But it's like, can you separate that stuff? Like, people have issues with Kanye. Listen to Kanye from all this anti-Semitic stuff and everything like that. And I'm like, he still has some banger beats.
Yeah. I mean, they just recently stopped playing R. Kelly at graduations.
Yeah.
They're still playing Michael Jackson at stuff.
Yeah.
They're still playing Elvis Presley at things. Elvis Presley took guardianship of a girl that was young, fucked her until she was old enough to marry.
Yep.
Michael Jackson, all the stuff about kids. Yeah. I don't know if he ever touched them, but he definitely looked at their buttholes.
So what you're saying is Woody Allen should have learned how to carry a beat.
Yeah. Be better at your profession.
Yeah, just don't marry your 14-year-old Asian girl.
That was the argument that I heard somebody bring up one time. They were like, how good do you have to be at something before it's okay to be a piece of shit? Like how good do you have to be before people overlook it?
Yeah.
Like they obviously got to the point where they finally canceled R. Kelly.
Yeah.
For peeing on people.
Yeah. Now we got Diddy.
Yeah.
Possibly Jay-Z.
Dude, the Diddy thing went way faster than I thought it would. Like, I thought that he was going to be pretty untouchable for a long time, and then they were going to find the one thing and bring him down.
Yeah.
But it was like, nope, you're in prison.
Yeah.
Boom, done. And I don't even, but I also don't keep up with it a whole lot. But it's not one of those things that's been in your face in the news the whole time either. It's been very hush-hush, and I don't know if it's because there's too many famous people. Is it the Epstein list? There's too many famous people on there? They don't...
I will say, though, it depends on the color of your skin and your demographic, though.
Yeah.
Because I have black comic friends, like Gigi Rashad's one of my closest friends. He is up to date on the Diddy situation and stuff like that. You go on TikTok, and it's like every other video is about Diddy or something like that. It's like the culture, depending on what your demographic is. That's what they push to you.
I heard somebody else say something about Black Twitter.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Is there really a separate Twitter?" And they're like, "No, it's just that
The algorithm.
their algorithm is that's all that comes up on their
Yeah.
stuff." So I guess the black TikTok be the same thing.
It's the same thing. Algorithms work.
Yeah.
Christina P. from YMH,
Yeah.
Tom Segura's wife, she has a segment every week called like Christina's Talks,
Mm-hmm.
because her algorithm is so fucked up on TikTok from what she actually likes and searches that it's kind of like this weird thing. It's like the worst videos you'll ever see. Like these creepy dudes like picking their thumbnails or like talking about how they drink cum or something like that. Just the creepiest shit on TikTok. That's her feed. Because that's all that she scrolled through, and that's what her algorithm's been designed to.
Yeah.
So now they put them up on YMH.
Yeah.
And it's now it's content.
Like Tom used to do that deal too, where it was like, is this hilarious or disgusting?
Horrible hilarious,
Yeah. That was always funny. Of course, it was usually somebody snapping in half, and I was like, oh.
He'll be here next month.
It's horrible. That's what it is. It's horrible.
He'll be in Tulsa this month, or it's February. He's
Where?
coming to Osage.
BOK. Oh, Osage?
Osage Casino.
Nice.
It's like February 28th or something.
How do you get in a fucking casinos? Anybody watching this, if you can tell me how to get booked into casinos, help a brother out.
The dog wants to play. She wants to play outside. But that dog.
It's cold outside.
That dog, if you let her outside for like more than like 10 minutes, she's like, oh, I can jump the fence.
Oh, yeah.
She was a twice rescued dog, or twice returned to the SPCA.
Yeah.
Because I guess the owners, she was a jumper. She was I have it on her name tag. I put escape artist.
Yeah.
Because she would jump a 7-foot fence.
Oh, shit.
And like the first time I saw her, I got her to the SPCA and I was like, I'm looking for a rescue pit. I want to rescue a pit bull. It was the day before my birthday. I was like, for my birthday, I want to rescue a pit bull.
Yeah.
That was my gift to myself.
Yeah.
And our local SPCA was like having this thing where they're like, it's $0 adoptions. We're so overfull that if it doesn't happen this week, they're probably going to die.
Yeah.
And I went to the pit bull section and she was by herself in her cage and all the rest of the pit bulls were all, crammed into one. And she just wanted loving.
Yeah.
And as soon as they let her out of that cage, she jumped it. She got out of the leash and she was jumping fences and running around. She was just happy.
Yeah.
I was like, I want that dog.
Dude, I've got a blue heeler, and that sucker, if he ever figures out how to put forward motion with his jump, he can clear anything too. He jump he'll have in a backyard, and we got a little half moon window in our back door at the very top.
Yeah.
And when he's out there, he'll jump and look at you through that window.
Yeah.
I'm like, if he ever figures out how to jump and forward, I mean, nothing's stopping him.
Yeah.
But he doesn't know how to do it. He'll bounce in one place. He's also the cutest. He'll stand up on his back legs, his hand, and he just looks like a little bear standing there. Sam, he's awesome.
She's kind. She's super sweet. Good with you see when she go with the kids.
Yeah.
The only thing I've said, like I said, she's been returned twice.
Yeah.
Something happened with her on fire because as soon as I light a match or a lighter or I put the fire pit out there or even the grill, she is running. She is scared to fucking death of fire.
Yeah.
So like I want somebody did something to her or what, but like that makes me fucking sad kind of a little bit. Like what happened to that dog's life?
That sucks. There's something definitely traumatic happened.
Then I'm like, well, she's just there at the pound so long that she smells the incinerator nonstop.
God,
that got dark, but I'm just thinking like,
not saying that you're wrong though.
Like puppy Auschwitz, like Poshwitz. oh fuck!
Yeah.
Did I just make a wrong? Oh, save that for the stage.
Yeah. Write that down so you don't forget it.
Yeah, Poshwitz.
How often do you do that? How often do you think of something funny? You're like, I'm gonna write that down as soon as I get somewhere.
Pretty much all the time. I'm not gonna do it right now.
My notes in my phone are ridiculous since I've learned how to use them. So but for the longest time, I didn't think about using. I don't use my phone for nearly
everything
as much
I
as
go
should.
is like Google Voice Notes. Like these are just notes from this last week.
Yeah.
Like, what did I find? What was the one I did the other day?
I'm gonna look at my phone.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm gonna pick one too. I'll just go to my notes and pick a random one. Ooh, some sexy lady started following me. That's good.
I had the thought. People always ask me, why is it Jared or Ralphie? Which name do you like? And I'm like, I'm the size of a Jared and a Ralphie. So ladies, if you want a three-way without the shame, I'm your guy.
Here's one. This is a true story. I just thought about it the other day. My uncle always gave me great advice when I was growing up. Like one day we were out feeding the horses.
Yeah.
And so you got to be careful of that hot wire fence. If you ever mess up and piss on that thing, it'll make you ball swap sockets. I mean, so it was like, and I was like, oh shit, it just came to me. And it's a real, like, he really did tell me that. So I was like, oh my God, I gotta, and then I'm working on one right now where it's, like, I'm not a video game guy.
Yeah.
I never was. My son had a game at one point in time. I don't even know what gaming system I don't know. I know nothing. But he had a game one time, and it was a what do you call where all you see is the hands.
Oh, like a first-person shooter.
Yeah, so a first-person shooter, and it was some kind of game, and I got addicted to it. And and it sucked because I moved the console to my bedroom so I could just sit on the edge of the bed and I would play. And then my wife would be getting up to go to work. She goes, "You haven't been to sleep yet?" I'm like, "Oh fuck," It was bad. I don't remember what the game was. And then I got addicted to Red Dead Redemption too.
Oh, that's a good one.
And then as soon as I get done with Red Dead Redemption, I'm like, I'm not playing video games. Like I got to stop because once
One
I
or
do
two.
find
Did you play Red Dead Redemption 1 or 2?
Both of them.
They're masterpieces. They're great movies.
Yeah.
Good games.
So, but the bit that I'm working on is the purpose of video. The purpose, not the porpoise. The purpose of video games is you can be anything in the world, right? Like you can be a professional boxer, you can be an NBA player, a football player, you can be a dragon slayer. You can be anything in video. You can be a blue hedgehog that's obsessed with rings. You can be anything you want to be. You know what game I play on my phone every day right now?
What?
Backyard Masters. I mow the lawn and trim the hedges. That's how I know I'm getting old. The video game I play every night is mowing lawns and doing yard work. What the fuck? Of course, my wife is playing. She's right next to me. She's playing Bejeweled.
Yeah.
So I'm daydreaming about a pretty lawn. She's daydreaming about moving diamonds around. But we're both just fucking dreaming. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's a new bit. I really do. I legitimately have that game on my phone.
I have bits like I think of that all the time. Like I listened to the radio the other day. Like one of mine this week was I don't know if you know this, but like you listen to like fucking car commercials on the road, and like there's celebrity voices now.
Yeah.
John Cena is the voice of Honda.
Yeah.
He does every Honda commercial. And I started listening to like all these different commercials. I'm like, how do they fucking pick these people? So if you go through car commercials, John Cena's got Honda. Guess who's Ford? Fucking the guy that played Heisenberg in Breaking Bad.
Really?
Yeah. What's his name? Bryan Cranston.
Bryan Cranston, yeah.
So why did they pick Heisenberg for fucking Ford? Because he made blue meth? Is that the connotation you want to make Ford? That's the perfect voice.
Yeah. First of all, I love the idea of that bit. Second of all, hey, real actors.
Yeah.
Fuck off. Leave some shit. Leave the radio to us guys.
Yeah.
Like let us have the opportunity of doing voiceover. They're not hiring me for fucking looks.
Nope.
Right? They're not hiring me for my acting abilities, but I can do a pretty damn good radio voice. You
Yes.
know? Like leave that to why you leave some scraps.
I know.
You know? I posted a picture the other day. It's this guy. It's like in the 80s, definitely. He's riding like one of the original Ninja crotch rockets.
Yeah.
That's like a teal blue and pink striped white Ninja.
Yeah.
And he's got a windbreaker jumpsuit that matches this motorcycle and a luxurious mullet.
Wow.
And the title of it is like, "Hey, bud, save some pussy for the rest of us." Jesus Christ.
Well, like my other bit I have is like brands that use songs but without the lyrics because they like the beat.
Yeah.
And if you actually put the lyrics back in, they wouldn't like those for our brands. Like case in point, WWE had a show. They brought back Saturday Night's Main Event.
Yeah.
It's like their big show on NBC. First time in like 20 years.
Yeah.
And they had the song Obsession, like from the 80s. Like, "You Are My Obsession." It's like an old 80s song.
Yeah.
And that was like their theme song for all the spotlights and stuff like that. If you listen to that song, it says, "You are my obsession. What do you want me to be for you to sleep with me?" WWE's playing that out with all the little kids and all that stuff. And I'm like, I don't think that's the right look. Like, we just got past Vince.
Like, there's a million other songs you could have chose.
Yeah.
Like, why'd you guys go with that one? This is one that I've not done much with it at all. I'm not a golfer, but every time I play putt-putt, I feel like I'm for Tiger fucking Woods. Right? Like every time I sink one, I give the full fist pump. Like I'm really into it. And of course I try to have sex with as many women as possible. So just two references to Tiger Woods.
Here's one I got for you.
Okay.
And I want you to really try to envision this. Be like a member of the audience, okay?
Okay.
You know how people you have stage fright and stuff, and they give you all these little tips on how to figure out and get over stage fright, right? And they always say like, picture everybody in their underwear, picture everybody naked, right? I want you to do that. Close your eyes, picture everybody naked. Now focus on the men. Do they have boners?
Yeah.
Congratulations, you're a faggot. That's the whole bit.
Stop looking at me, queer.
Yeah. My eyes are up here.
Yeah. I don't know if you've noticed, but I've got really pretty eyes too. The worst thing to see when you walk out on stage. in the audience. Worst thing to see when you walk in on stage in the audience
Oh.
is if there's a woman who has a bride-to-be sash or birthday girl sash on.
That bitch ain't gonna laugh.
Well, and the deal
Her friends
is
will.
It's her night. She's supposed to be the center of attention.
Yeah.
She will make herself the center of attention, doesn't give a fuck if it ruins your show.
Yeah.
It's the worst. I hate that.
Just started being like, I'm glad she's off the market.
Yeah. Thank God. Yeah, your girlfriends are like, save some dick for the rest of it. But I got my opening joke that I just kind of added it to my set not too long ago. I was joking with my wife one day.
Yeah.
And my wife's not a good judge of jokes. I used to do jokes where I would say, I run jokes past my wife, and she goes, "Oh my God, don't say that. That shit definitely makes the list," you know. But I was joking with my wife one day, and it really was something that just came to me. I said, "Hey, how come the expression anything more than a handful is a waste is only a good excuse for women with small tits? How come guys built like me can't use that as an excuse too?" And my wife about fell on the floor laughing, and I was like, was that really that funny? Like, I thought it was a funny thing to think of, and she goes, "That's fucking hilarious." So I added to the front. Now, like, when I come out, I'm like, "Hey, I'm gonna start off with a question, guys.
Yeah.
Here's something I've been thinking about," and I do that, and it's been working pretty good. I like it as a little icebreaker opener.
Pretty good. I like it. I like it. We're just like wasting all of our new material on this fucking.
Yeah.
We're like, here's all my new shit. I haven't worked out yet. We're just gonna waste it.
Let me go ahead and do my set real quick.
I will say this. I had this. This was literally this week, and I haven't worked it all the way out, but there's something here. Okay, I grew up in this area, Oklahoma, like all my life. I'm sure you've grown up in this area. You used to Lawton, right?
Yeah.
You remember those like extensions that you'd have on the back of pickups that were like carpeted? They were like little rooms.
Yeah.
Like you would sit them in the trunk.
Yeah.
Or sit them in the bed, and they would like give you like a little room with windows.
Yeah.
What the fuck were those for? Like, those were not safe. There was no seatbelts in there. They're just riding in the back like we're fucking human pinatas.
Yeah.
Like, we get into a car wreck. We're like, wonder what's inside. Oh no.
Yeah. Cowboy sleeper.
Yeah, the cowboy sleepers.
I know exactly what you're talking about, and I've got a great fucking story about one.
Okay.
All right. So I have a buddy of mine, and I won't say his real name. His nickname, what everybody knew him as, was Scooter. So I'll go ahead and throw that out there. Fuck you if you're watching, because it was hilarious.
They're just like carpeted tea pinatas that you sit in the bed of a truck.
Yeah. So we're at a wedding. A buddy of ours gets married, and it's just a huge party afterwards. And he wakes up in the morning, and he's in he had one of those on his truck, and he's in there with a girl that I would think is not much smaller than you. Now, to get in this,
she filled the pinata.
It sat on the bed. It sat on the bed, and then it had an opening that went from it into the your truck had a beer window, a little side window. So you just crawl through that window to get in it.
Yeah.
How the fuck she got in there? I don't know.
It didn't have a door on the back.
But I know that he had a hard time getting out with her in there.
Yeah.
And we made fun of him because we had to. It was just held to the bed with clamps.
Yeah.
We had to unclamp it and slide it back so that she could. And it was. And I'm gonna tell you something. This was 26 years ago. If I saw him right now, I immediately would go back to that story.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hilarious.
I remember guys like, and then rednecks were like, because they were expensive little shacks that you'd stick in your truck.
Yeah.
They're just like the shittiest carpet would be on it, like the hardest carpet. That red carpet, or that black that had those little lines in it.
The indoor-outdoor
Yeah,
carpet.
the indoor-outdoor carpet. And like, it's just like a fucking little shack tee that you just sit on the bed. And I remember all the rednecks that were like, they get rid of the truck and then they use it as a fucking deer stand.
Yeah.
We just set it up in the trees.
Yeah, that's good enough.
Yeah, it's good enough.
Yeah. Keep you out of the rain a little bit.
I'll put some 2x4s and just nail them up there as a ladder up to it. It's good. It's good.
It's good. No, it's just like building a kid's clubhouse.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we go with that. Yeah. Hey, here's if I just because I'm thinking about that same wedding.
Yeah.
That we went to. I show up late because I was working, so I get there late. But I'm part of the wedding party. So when I show up, everybody else, and this is before the wedding has started, everybody's already drunk. So I get there, And all the other guys that are part of the wedding party are like, hey, bitch, you got some catching up to do. Let's go.
Yeah.
And then we got a line of shots and 2 beers sitting there. And I'm like, all right. So we drink it all down, get sauced up. So by the time the wedding's over, I'm sloshed.
Good thing you didn't lay down and pass out on your arm.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a callback, ladies and gentlemen.
So my buddy his band is playing for this wedding.
Yeah.
And there's a pond because my buddy, he's getting married at his house.
Yeah.
His house has got a little dock that goes out to the pond. And so everybody's kind of partying around it or whatever. And I'm talking shit about this pond. And my buddy goes, I bet you can't swim across that damn thing. Well, I'm drunk and young. Dare me to climb the Empire State Building.
Yeah.
And it's on.
Yeah. Oh, wrong one.
Wrong one.
Bruh. Yeah.
Bruh. Yeah. So
I can also do.
Oh no. Save that one. I'm like, bet. Here we go. So I take off, fully clothed, and swim drunk. I'm drunk. And swim my ass off across this pond. I get to the other side. I'm exhausted. So I walk back around the pond. I'm not swimming back. It's a pretty good sized pond. We get to now it's time. Like everybody was supposed to bring tents or campers or something. I had a tent. I was too drunk to set it up. So I just wrapped up in it. I just used my tent as a sleeping bag. So when I wake up in the morning, I'm laying in this pasture. And I kind of get trying to get my eyes open, and I'm facing this pond. And a lot of people are already awake.
Yeah.
There are people standing in the middle of this pond. It's only waist deep.
Yeah.
I swam across that thing like it was the fucking Gulf of Mexico. I had no idea. I could have walked across the pond, but I swam and then slept in wet clothes all night long, wrapped up in a tent.
So you were a big fish in a little pond?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Same buddy that had the cowboy camper and the big girl in it. He had to loan me some dry clothes.
Yeah.
He lent me a pair of maroon colored Wranglers.
What?
Let me tell you something. The gayest thing I've ever worn in my life. Okay. Colored Wranglers used to be a thing.
Hey, with your accent, watch out how you say colored. Okay? Just gonna say.
Yeah. Dude, you just made a gay comment and said colored in the same sentence.
No, you
sound like
just said the phrase colored Wrangler. And I'm just like,
yeah. Right. Yeah. But,
phrasing. Describe now.
Colored pair of jeans.
Yes.
Yeah. Not a black guy who wrangles cattle. Yeah. Let me tell you this thing I fucked up not too long ago.
Okay.
I was in Baton Rouge, Louisiana doing a show. Yeah. I was in Baton Rouge, Louisiana doing a show. And while I was out there, I was like, man, this car, I got nothing to do during the day. I'm like, this car could you really use a wash? So and across the street from my hotel, there's a car wash that I think looks familiar. I think it's the same chain of car wash that we've got at home.
Yeah.
So I go over there and they ask me if I want to sign up for the monthly membership or whatever. And I was like, yeah, cool, because I can use this at home too.
Oh, no.
So I get the car wash and then I get home and realize it was not the same. And then I keep getting this $25 withdrawal taken out of my bank account. And my wife is like, what is this Take 5 thing that
It's a hand job, baby. Sorry.
Yeah, what's this Take 5 that you're paying $25 a month for? And I'm like, oh, it's a car wash in Baton Rouge. I thought it was the same one we had here, so I signed up for a membership. And she goes, are you going to cancel it? And I'm like, I didn't know you could do that. To be honest with you, babe, I thought I just had to pay $25 a month for the rest of my life.
The way that she said, are you going to cancel it? She would have had more respect for you if you would have been like, it's just OnlyFans.
Yeah. She was so disappointed in me.
What's this Take 5? Baby, you don't want to know.
No, here's what's bad. I wanted to avoid that conversation with calling and trying to cancel it so bad. I just went to the bank and said, hey, I need a new debit card.
I've been there. I've done that with my Cash App card a lot.
Yeah, but then I had to resubscribe to all the OnlyFans stuff that I didn't want to get rid of.
We hit too close to home there. Now it's the point.
Yeah, there we go.
So you came. Anyway.
Yeah. And that was the end.
And that's my summer at band camp.
Yeah.
Well, Matt, dude, thank you so much for being here. This has been a blast talking to you.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. I'd love to come back. It's a good time.
Dude, I want to have you back for this anytime you want. Anytime you're in town, come back to the podcast. I would love to have you on. I'm going to bring out my React channel for movies and stuff like that. We can sit down and just
Yeah.
You know, have
Yeah,
some
it'd be a
fun
good
over
time.
there. Got a lot of projects coming up, roast battle, stuff like
Yeah.
that. Dude, I want to do some work with you. I think we're
Okay.
gonna.
Hell
This
yeah.
has been a great connection. I've had
I appreciate it. Yeah,
good friendship
good
man
time.
struck up. I think
Yeah.
this is gonna be friendly, man.
And on February 23rd, I'll be at the Looney Bin in Tulsa.
Nice, man. And I will
Yeah.
be there at that show. I
Yeah.
want to see you
It's
live.
going to have Spencer Mills and Kyle Fleming on that show with me, so it's going to be a good time. I'm really looking forward
Hilarious guys. Kyle's a friend of the show, been on here before. Spencer, I still need your ass on this chair, man. Get your ass here, buddy. You got an open invite.
to it. Hell yeah.
But
Hell
in the
yeah.
meantime, man, Matt Ferrell, thank you so much for being here. This has been a hell of a time. I love talking to you. I can talk
Yeah.
to you all day.
Yeah, good time, man. I appreciate it.
Where can
Thanks
everybody
for
follow
having
you and find you?
Matt Ferrell Comedy on everything.
Awesome, man.
On everything. Even TikTok.
For now.
Yeah. I'm 20 away from 10,000.
There you go, man.
I'm 20 away from 10,000.
Hey, it's
and
Trump
they're like,
2025. It'll be called TalkTick now.
Yeah.
New company. Well, on that note, guys, I've been Jared Ralphie Allen. That's Matt Ferrell. Thank you for watching Unloading Meat. Subscribe now. Peace.
Bye, have a great time.